I gotta move different on this mission. The thoughts of a nigga with the vision.
What's going on, family? Ain't fucking with we. We got the moon in Sag. I know you're acting real bougie, and I ain't finna brag. I'm coming through with some bars. We finna talk about the stars. I want me a bunch of foreign cars. We about to talk about Mars. All right, guys, this is what it is, y'all. See, guys, right now with the energies we in, a lot of closed doors are manifesting as new opportunities. When you guys, right now, if you're transitioning from a job, from where you live, a relationship, you have to be able to keep the mindset of understanding the grass is green on the other side. Because I promise you, we at the end of first of all, we at the end of a Venus retrograde, right? We at the end of a Venus retrograde. Yolanda, what's going on, baby? Sending my love. So we at the end of a Venus retrograde period. You know, we dealing with Mercury retrogrades. We got big Saturn influences in the air, dealing with refinement, right? Restructuring, reorganization. So a lot of closed doors, a lot of things coming to their end right now. A lot of transformations you guys are going through right now are in the name of a new opportunity. Now, it may not feel like that. It may not feel like opportunity when you cussing your boss out right now, cussing one of your coworkers out right now. You cussing your partner out right now. Y'all getting into some shit, getting out the motherfucking relationship. Yeah, it may not seem like a new opportunity in the moment, but that's how life is. It ain't gonna be till 6 months, 4 months till now, summertime, fall, and you looking at this point of the year like, damn. When a lot of shit was transitioning, ending, coming to an end or whatnot, I thought I was feeling the pressure. My back was against the wall, not knowing how many opportunities was on the other side. So that's my intro to this live stream, guys, because y'all know my formula for the most part. I used to go live on Instagram, and then I would upload my live streams on YouTube. But guys, I'm a full-fledged YouTuber now. That's it. I'm done with IG. Like, I'm done. They used to cut me off live all the time. I can't even pull up the energies and react. So, like, I'm good with IG. IG gonna get some energy updates from me, 60-second energy updates, you know. I'm gonna use the IG to make some announcements from time to time. But we getting crazy on the tube in 2022, all right, family? We getting crazy on the tube in 2022. So, listen, I love actually being able to, you know, use my laptop, live stream, StreamYard, because, you know, once again, I get to do what I'm about to do now, which is pull up the energies. Pull up the energies. You feel me? So let me go ahead and share my screen with you. Shout outs to everybody in the building. Love. All right. All right. Is there a way I can make this a bit bigger? All right, let's do it like this. Yep, there we go. All right, guys. So, yeah, this is what we're doing every day. We get into our live streams every day on the tube. That's it. You feel me? I got like a new formula. I'm trying to like emphasize short content now. So, you know, I'm doing these 60-second energy updates on Instagram, posting the shorts on YouTube, but we're going to get into these, you know, share screen live streams, you know, at least every other day, if not every day. Okay. I'm going to continue to do the series that I'm doing on YouTube. So I know for the past 2 years, I've been trying to build my YouTube up for the past 2 years, but I myself as a content creator have been, you know, learning how to navigate all these different platforms and whatnot. So I'm saving longer content for the series that I'm gonna do here on YouTube and my Patreon. You know, my Patreon, I haven't been posting on my Patreon as much recently, but I got some things that I want to get in there towards the end of the week. And since I'm more organized, knowing how I'm delivering and dividing my content and, the gems and the information, that's about to start going crazy. We about to start going back to classes and everything over there. All right. I actually have a synergy class in the planning for my Patreons right now. A really nice one, to just revive the energies over there. But for the most part, y'all, this is gonna be the vibe right now. This is gonna be the vibe. All right. Let me just see if I could is there any way I could zoom in? Let me see. I don't know how to do shit. I wish I had a Virgo or somebody around me. Y'all know how Virgos be. Like, boy, you gotta double click here and then look at the zoom there. This now, I'm supposed to know that shit. Ain't no Virgo sun moon ascendants in the chat. But y'all should be able to see. All right, y'all should be Gucci. All right, so where should we start? Let's get into a quick energy update. All right, real quick energy update, and then I want to go through Mars through the houses. All right, Mars is in Capricorn. Mars is in Capricorn right now. So matter of fact, we're going to go through some Mars through Capricorn influences tomorrow. But since we're dealing with a new Mars transit overall, I want to break down your Mars placement, the house you have Mars in. All right. So little energy update. And then we're going to get straight into house planets in the houses. It's 10 p.m. Eastern over here. So, don't want to keep y'all too long and whatnot. I was having so much difficulties today. I'm supposed to be done live streaming right now. So it's like, I motherfucking I was planning on going live on IG around 8:30. Then I found out I was disabled. I'm blocked. I don't know why. They not telling me why. You feel me? But y'all know the lucky Libra, man. We all about positivity over here. I'm gonna find the motherfucking positive out of everything out this motherfucker. I don't care what the circumstance and experience is. You feel me? It's Jupiter day too. It's Jupiter day. The moon in Sagittarius. What I look like being all negative and all depressed and sad. I was sad. I ain't gonna lie. I was sad, but I had to snap out that shit real quick. You can't be sad on no motherfucking Jupiter day with the moon in Sagittarius. It's too much. Listen, all that Jupiter energy is too much optimistic energy to access to lift your spirits up. All right. Now, if the moon was transiting Aries or Scorpio, I'd be flipping shit right now. I'd be flipping shit in my house. I'll be trying to find a customer service phone number. Instagram ain't got no customer service. But I'm going to find that motherfucker, curse somebody out. Start finding out who work for IG, get their address, pop up to their door. Like, you see, Aries, Mars energy, it'll go to extreme like that when they angry and mad. If you were I'm a Libra Scorpio. My son is on the cusp. So, I ain't your fucking average smiley, delightful walk in the park ass Libra. I cuss a motherfucker out. I slap the shit out of somebody. You feel me? My fairness and balance at times is whipping somebody's ass. That's that Mars energy. So you got Mars and Venus energies all together and shit. Your emotions be a little too unstable. What you like and what you love and what you frustrates you and what frustrates you be all in the same shit. So this goes out to everybody that got a Venus influence and a Mars influence in your big three. So if you like a Libra Scorpio, a Aries Taurus, like an Aries Sun Taurus Moon, Taurus Sun, Aries Rising, Scorpio Rising, Libra Moon, that's you. You got love, but that shit, your emotions can jump into extremes, But yeah, family, thank God that moon is in Sagittarius because we have a lot of positivity to access today, all right? A lot of positivity to access today. The moon is in Sagittarius. It moved in here, as we can see. Right now, the moon is 11 degrees in Sagittarius, okay? So when we got the moon transit in Sagittarius, y'all, this energy is all about being more philosophical, being more open-minded about things, being open to learning. When the moon is in Sagittarius, either you're going to manifest situations to be the teacher, to express, circulate, spread your knowledge and wisdom, because Sagittarius is mutable fire. That's the spread of the awareness, the spread of the light. the spread of the insight, all right? The spread of the creativity. So if we look at the fire signs, Aries, the spark of the fire, Leo, the actual fire ablaze, dancing, moving, looking creative, right? And then when we have mutable fire, Sagittarius circulates it. So is the heat, is the vibration we feel from the fire. This is why Sagittarius placements are great teachers. This is why Sagittarius placements are great pastors. Because not only is Jupiter the influence here dealing with, you know, spirituality, expansion, spiritual expansion, right? You know, your knowledge and wisdom, your experiences. Not only does Jupiter have that influence, when you put it in that archetype of mutable fire already deal with awareness and helps you to see. It deals with what you're conscious of, what you're aware of. You know, so people with a lot of fire energy in their chart is gonna have they're gonna have a lot of visions. They're gonna see things a lot. Sometimes they see so much. You know, Aries, Leos, and Sagittarius, specifically Aries, a lot of the times, because the sun is exalted in Aries, they see way ahead of the present. You know, and the vision could be so vivid, so bright. The potential of what they seen could be, you know, so crazy. But in that sense, this is what can make them stumble in the present because they're too ahead of themselves, you know? So, you know, gift and curse to everything. But, you know, when the moon transits Sagittarius, that's the type of vibration we're going to be in, you know, reacting to being more open-minded, you know, dealing with more of a philosophical approach to things. Like what I just went through today with Instagram, disabling my account, I took the Sagittarius route. I'm like, okay, whatever. You know, I'm not going to hang my head on it. I'm not going to let this block experiences, and I'm damn sure not going to let it get in the way of spreading my fire, spreading my knowledge and wisdom, spreading my awareness about things, spreading my insight. You feel me? If there's a will, there's a motherfucking way. So with the moon in Sagittarius, we have to react to being more open-minded. We have to react to, you know, being the bigger person, looking at things from a bigger perspective. Okay, don't get so caught up in one little moment, one little experience. Now, the thing about the moon in Sagittarius, it's squaring Jupiter in Pisces. So we got Jupiter in Pisces, Sagittarius, moon in Sagittarius. What this does here, because the moon is already transiting a Jupiter influence sign. So now that it's actually squaring Jupiter, this makes you know, it way more intense when it comes to us feeling like we need to bring some form of expansion into our lives. All right. So today and tomorrow, we will be feeling the influences of feeling like there's things we need to grow right now, things we need to develop and bring expansion and blow up right now, you know. But the thing is, once again, this is a transit. This is one transit. The moon stays in a sign for 2.5 days. How much can you do to grow or expand something in 2.5 days? We can't psych ourselves up to think we're going to do everything in 24 hours, or we're going to squeeze this, that, and the third into a small time frame. So this energy is real intense because we start looking at the things in our life that we want to expand on, whether it's our personal circumstances, personal projects, our spiritual life, want to bring some form of expansion and growth to our relationship, to our career area life, but more specifically, you know, the houses that you have Sagittarius and Pisces in. Okay. So let's say you got Sagittarius in the first house, Pisces in the fourth house. So you got the moon transit in your first house in Sagittarius, and you got Jupiter in the fourth house in Pisces. You know, this type of energy is going to bring some type of expansion into you possibly personally expressing how you feel about things, especially in the home environment, especially with loved ones, especially within relationships you got with loved ones. You know, the first house deal with expression. So you got the moon here. So the moon is transiting in the first house. So it's reacting, and it's, you know, it's invested right now in your personal life as a Sagittarius rising. But now, because it's squaring Pisces, right? And you got Pisces in the fourth house. Okay, this brings the type of energy where all your everything that you're experiencing, your outlook, and how you look at the relationships in that house, in the fourth house, these are the things you may feel more impulsive to react to, or to try to take action to grow them, blow them up, bring expansion. The fourth house also deal with, this is just a hypothetical example, but the fourth house also deal with, you know, your emotional stability and shit. So this type of alignment, we got that Sagittarius fire, Pisces water. So we already dealing with feelings and emotions. So overall, guys, today with the moon transit in Sagittarius and tomorrow, we have to keep patience, at the forefront of our conscious, because for one, patience is hard to practice when the moon is in fire, when we got energies in fire, period. And then on top of that, once again, there's almost so much expansion we can bring in a certain period of time. True growth comes with patience. Okay. The moon squaring Jupiter also influences us to react to things that you already know, knowledge and wisdom you already have, things you already experienced. So many of you guys may have had certain experiences today or will encounter experiences tomorrow where your knowledge and wisdom, something you already know, something you already have information and insight on, is being called to be expressed, communicated, circulated, or for you to take action upon it. All right. So that's very important there. Whenever, even if y'all guys look in your natal chart, all right, if y'all go in your natal chart and y'all got any squares to Jupiter, like let's say you got squares to Jupiter between your sun and your moon, it's important for you to understand that, wherever your sun and moon is at, whatever house your sun and moon is at, it's always going to be placed in situations where it's going to have to be able to use the knowledge and wisdom and the awareness it has from past experiences. All right. If you have this type of alignment in your natal chart, if you have the sun or the moon squaring opposite Jupiter in your natal chart, you're going to have quick karma in life because your sun or your moon understands or has awareness about a certain form of knowledge and wisdom, but you may not apply it in experiences that your sun and moon encounters. All right. So learning to take more wiser actions, learning to react with your emotions, have developing more emotional intelligence. So these are things to keep in mind here. All right. These are also, this can make for a very intuitive individual as well, though. All right. Especially if you got like Jupiter retrograde, or some shit. You feel me? So that's what we got going on with this moon transit until the moon makes its way into Capricorn. We dealing with some pretty significant energies in the weekend going into starting the week. Venus is going direct this weekend. All right. So we've just spent all this time with Venus retrograde. So when it comes to the things we like, we love, our pleasures, things we're attached to, bad habits, addictions, things we may overindulge, that's all Venus energy. That's all Venus energy. These were the things, these past couple months, we were supposed to be reorganizing. We were supposed to be revising. We were supposed to be restructuring. These are the things. All right. Now, so let me put the bottom back. So with that being said, we just went through the whole retrograde. The retrograde is Venus retrograde is done now. She's going back direct in Capricorn. So guys, I need y'all to understand when planets go direct, you need to look at this like, okay, studying for your midterm or for your final is done. Now we about to take the test. All right. So even though things in the past reoccur, reappear, whether it's exes, old opportunities, old projects, old circumstances during a retrograde, that is the studying process. That's not the test. The test is when the planet goes direct. This is why I like to say retrograde times is we're doing spiritual homework. We're doing spiritual homework around this time. These past situations that reoccur, that's us studying. So if your ex hits you up talking about they need closure or this, that, and the third, that's you studying. We study ourselves from our relationships. So that closure talk may be somewhat of a closure for you. It may be that experience may bring some insight about yourself and relationships you ain't had before that situation happened during your retrograde. So a lot of times people feel away when they get hit up on retrogrades and my ex hitting me up, this, that, and the third. My baby mama blowing my shit up, baby daddy blowing my shit up, ex-girlfriend blowing my shit up. Yeah, we we get all a bit, we could get possibly frustrated or be in the what do you want now type of energy, right? But at the end of the day, you want to have an open heart and an open mind during retrograde energies. Remember, we still got Mercury retrograde, right? We still got Mercury retrograde. So we got to continue to embrace things that come from the past. Old opportunities, old projects. I've been saying this all retrograde. Old projects, old circumstances pop up as new opportunities during retrogrades. So let's say you was walking a certain path. And we all got natural paths to walk. We got house lords in the chart. We got a north node in the chart. We got the house our sun is in. So these are multiple paths, multiple journeys that we are in this lifetime to bring spiritual expansion, because that's what we doing here. That's the whole point of being in a body and being in this earth realm, to bring some form of spiritual expansion, to learn new things, all right, to create, to test our creating capabilities. So when we look at that type of energy dealing with the retrogrades and whatnot, once again, all type of old circumstances pop up as new opportunities. So it's like when we're walking these journeys, these paths in our life, let's say you're walking down the career path for you that you designed for yourself, because when I'm doing readings, a lot of my shit is based off house lords. House lords give the spiritual direction in life. House lords, all our life, house lords are influencing thoughts and feelings in our life to provide us direction. So when I do my career consultation, I'm breaking down the house lords of your earth houses. When I'm doing love twin flame readings, I'm breaking down the house lords of your air houses, your relationship houses specific. So with all that being said, sometimes when we're walking certain walks of life, when we're on path, we can get off path. We can get distracted. A whole bunch of shit can happen. It's life. Retrogrades are periods when universe says, let me get your ass back on track. Let me get your narrow-minded ass back on track. You was walking the right path. You was dealing with this self-development over here, or you was experiencing what you needed to experience over here, so you could, gradually blossom in what you're doing in career. So, we be on track and off track all the time. Some of us be walking our path for a good old 30 days. Next 90 days, we off track like a motherfucker. This is why retrograde periods are very helpful. They annoying as fuck at times because my camera was bugging out before I got on this live stream. So, yeah, we deal with all the stupid technical shit. But when we're looking at these quote unquote, past situations, everything from the past, things coming back from the past to play in the future, when it comes to reviewing and revising, all of this energy, this is what we want to embrace. And we got to keep on doing this until Mercury goes direct as well. But with Venus going direct, guys, that's it. The studying period is over. We're taking the finals. The midterm, the finals is Monday, is this weekend. Is the February 1st. So when it comes to the people, places, and things that you like, love, relationships, things you may be overindulging in because you like it or you love it. And this is a person, place, or thing. Much love, Carla. All right, this is a person, place, or thing. Some of us love scrolling on our phone too goddamn much. Some of us love motherfucking food. Shit, I love pastries like a motherfucker. I got a sweet tooth like a motherfucker. All right. Some of us love this person way too much that we don't give him no goddamn space. Some of us love smoking weed, love alcohol, love shopping. So we all have different type of Venus energy, things that we like, love, or attached to that we may overindulge in. To learn more about yourself when it comes to these energies, right? You want to look at your Venus placement. You want to specifically what house, all right? The house and the squares and opposites. But with all that being said, guys, Anything come back from the past? If you have, Jasmine says, if you haven't had anything come back from the past, does that mean you've learned what you need to learn? You know, for the most part, that means there's no significant karma that universe feels like you need to revise. The things you are doing going into the retrograde, shit, you was already on top of it. Or maybe some situation that had potential to replay, you know, in your life based off Mercury going retrograde in your chart. You know, you already have a certain awareness about these situations, you know, or you was already, let's say, because Venus deals with what we love, right? Our value system, right? So if somebody was going into Venus retrograde and they was already telling themselves, yo, I'm going to stop smoking, I'm going to be celibate, I'm going to stop drinking alcohol, I'm going to stop fucking running my credit card up on motherfucking Macy's and shit and Sephora. Women, I know how y'all be doing it. So credit card be going crazy on Sephora. So if you came into the Venus retrograde already in a state of managing your pleasures, managing bad habits, being aware about what you're attached to, what you like, what you love, then you was ahead of the game. You was one step ahead of the game. You know, if anything, Venus retrograde just grew your awareness about, you know, maybe why you may have developed the attachments in the first place, what triggers you to be attached to certain things. Venus retrograde, you could be single and not have nothing from the past or nobody from the past come into play, but you can manifest situations where you start to catch crazy downloads of your past relationship. So something that happened in your past relationship and you're just now realizing what that lesson meant. You know, so I like to say retrogrades are evolution periods as well. Okay, so that's what we was dealing with this Venus retrograde, specifically the house you have Capricorn in. The house you have Capricorn in, there's some things that there's some things in that house that you like or you love or you attach to. You probably need to give some space or you needed to let go. And we had these past couple months to feel that strong influence of what it is we need to let go in that house, the house you have Capricorn in. All right. And that's the thing about Venus in Capricorn. You know, she's back to being what? She's going to be like 10 degrees. All right. Because today's the 27th. Hold on, let's fast forward. Well, I don't even got to fast forward. I know she's going direct on the 29th. But yeah, it should be like around 10 degrees, you know, because it's 11 now. So the thing about Venus is like, you know, she's like the daughter in your family, the first daughter that you can't say no to her, you know. She knows how to make that face to the son, to her father, to make the son just be like, all right, here's the money. All right, here's my credit card. Goddamn, Venus. The moon don't even be running up my motherfucking credit card like that. But Venus, shit, the moon is actually more understanding of my finances. The moon knows if my finances is good and shit. This is the sun talking. If my finances is good and shit, you know the home is happy. Everybody's good. Everybody's Gucci bills is paid. Venus, though, Venus, aka Taurus, Libras, Pisces, be running that credit card up. So the thing is, when Venus getting Capricorn don't play that shit. Capricorn don't play that shit, even if Venus wasn't retrograde. Y'all gotta understand that. That's why this was so intense this past couple months. Even if Venus wasn't retrograde, we were still gonna be dealing with energies. Hold on, yeah, my Instagram blowing up. I feel like something just happened. So with Venus retrograde, it don't even matter. Capricorn in the second house. Capricorn in the second house. The second house is an Earth house. So when Capricorn here, it already resonates well here because the second house is about stability, security, what you feel like you have, your gifts, your talents. The first house is the I am. This is you. This is your identity. This is your awareness. When we get into the second house, it's like, okay, I'm aware of myself, But what do I have? What gifts and talents do I have? How do I feel about what I have, aka my self-esteem? This is the value house. What do I value? And how do I use all of that? What do I value? My gifts, what I feel like I have. How do I use that to build stability and security in this realm? That's the second house. So if you got Capricorn here, you know, this is naturally the Taurus house. So Taurus is about building. It's an earth sign. So when you put Capricorn here, Capricorn be wanting to start. It's cardinal. So cardinal energy starts. It wants to start a lot of things here. So that's like the downfall of having Capricorn in the the second house. You're going to be motivated to take initiative, starting things, starting projects based off your singing talent, your designing talent, you know, your public speaking talent, your music, whatever it is. You're going to have the initiative to start building. You ain't going to need nobody to spark that for you with Capricorn there. And you're going to take your time. You're going to be patient. And that's very important in the second house. Patience is very important. Do y'all see Tauruses rushing anything? Hell the fuck no. Do you see people with second house stelliums rushing anything? Well, matter of fact, it depends. It depends. If you got Mars in there, yeah, it depends. It depends. And this is why we're about to break down Mars going through the houses. But it depends. It depends. You know, you might have Mars and Mercury in that house. So then now you moving a little too fast in that house. So y'all need to understand the second house archetype does deal with taking your time. So when we're building things in this lifetime, when you value something within yourself, you feel like you could sing, you feel like you could dance, you feel like you could cook, you feel like you could teach, you feel like you could design, you feel like you could make music. You got to take your time building the seed that you plant in that area, okay? So Capricorn, it knows how to pinpoint what it's good at in this area and get to work in this area, okay? It's just that it needs to learn how to complete things. It needs to learn how to follow out on things here with Capricorn. And it has to make sure it doesn't place restrictions on itself. Because wherever Capricorn is at in the chart, Soulful Connections, what's cracking-lacking, baby? Yeah, we here. It's YouTube gang now. All my YouTube family, because I posted on Instagram. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good off IG. Like, we on the YouTube wave, stuff to me on YouTube. I got all my YouTube family hitting me up on IG. Like, let's get it, bro. So that's what we got. That's Capricorn in the second house for the most part. You may be influenced to place because it's Saturn energy. Saturn sometimes is too cutthroat, too direct. It wants to cut things off, break things down. So if this is your house of self-esteem, sometimes you could be a little too harsh on yourself when it comes to your self-esteem. Keyword, harsh. Wherever Saturn is at in the chart, wherever Capricorn is at in the chart, shit will be a little harsh. All right? Shit will be harsh. And we all got a Saturn. We all got a Capricorn in the chart. You know? So life is harsh for all of us in certain places. Life gonna be hard, period. All right? Shit, this realm ruled by Saturn. So that tells you all you need to know there. But with all of that being said, now that Venus is going direct, guys, starting after this weekend, the very things that you should have been restricting, the very things that you like or love that you should have been putting on the back burner, you should have been letting go of, you should have been refining, restructuring, reorganizing how you connect to it. If we don't show universe that we have an evolved value system, if we don't show universe that we are evolved, we're valuing more of the positive things in life when it comes to what we like or love, or we're having more of a wiser approach towards our attachments, bad habits, things we like or love. If we cannot show universe after this weekend that we've learned, that we've evolved, these next couple of weeks can get crazy. These next couple of weeks can get crazy. All right? Venus is back direct. Oh, this is the point I wanted to make too. So yeah, Venus, you know, even if Venus wasn't retrograde, it still would have been intense because in Capricorn, you know, Venus deals with her pleasures, but when she gets into Capricorn, the Capricorn ain't caring about pleasures. Capricorn ain't caring about no goddamn pleasures. You know what Capricorn pleasure is? Somebody say in the comments because y'all know what it is. Capricorn pleasures is getting a motherfucking paycheck, job promotion, getting hired. That's Capricorn's pleasure. So when Venus gets into Capricorn, this is what she has to learn to love. Thank you, Harold. This is what Venus has to learn to love in Capricorn. We got to learn to love and value work. We got to love and value working on ourselves, like not just career, working on our goddamn selves. All right. Self-development, whether for some of us is going to the gym, for some of us is meditating, for some of us is working on our sleep hours and our mental health, for some, like all different type of things. We all know where we got room for improvement. We all know. But of course, strong emphasis on career, getting a check, security and stability. This is what you forced to love. A lot of us snapped into getting more serious as to our potential in career, or a lot of people these past couple months went to their boss like, all right, Mr. Robinson, all right, Mr. Levert, I'm gonna just be making up names. Listen, I treat this job like I own this motherfucker, all right? I come here every day. I do this, that, and the third. I look out for your mistakes, other people's mistakes, and your coworker. I'm one of your most valued employees. I need a promotion. I can't do this no more. So either I'm manager or I'm up out of here. A lot of people was talking to their boss like that these past couple months while Venus was retrograde, because you were in a state of reevaluating how you're appreciated. Venus deal with appreciation. So it's not just reevaluating what you like or love. A lot of people broke up in relationships this past couple months because they were reevaluating how they're loved, how they're valued, how they're appreciated. So either a motherfucker left their job, left the relationship. It's a lot of transformation going on in the name of love, all right, in the name of appreciation. So this is what that placement was going to influence, period, even if it wasn't retrograde. The retrograde energy just made it more intense because now it brought past circumstances where you probably neglected placing some love, some nurture, some support into something you wanted to build. So it was almost like, damn, not only am I feel like I'm being forced to value pouring some love and care into something I want to grow and stabilize, but goddamn, I'm manifesting so much motherfucking situations from the past to remind me, like, you better get on your job. You better value this motherfucker. You feel me? I'm manifesting a bunch of previous relationship experiences that's, remind that it's like things I'm experiencing now in my relationships is reminding me of things in the past, like shit real deja vu-ish. Okay. So yeah, that's that mystical ass Venus retrograde energy. All right. But guys, it's direct now. So next week, guys, y'all gotta understand things that you have strong influences for to cut off. You got to, guys. We have to know there's power in the no. We got to know there's power in the no. There's a lot of things, personally, me. Like don't think just because, I'm an astrologer or whatnot. Shit, I'm a whole Libra. Venus in the 8th house. When we talk about bad habits, overindulging, that's my life. That's my life. I don't know how to buy something and not eat all of it in one night. Everything I buy got to be super bulk or extra large. Like, that's it. That's it. Motherfucker buy a 6-pack of some beverages, 6-pack. That shit gonna be gone in 2 days. You feel me? Eat my whole birthday cake by myself. That's that Venus energy be overindulging, be doing too much. This is why Taurus is sometimes be over, love sweet stuff, sweet tooth, love food, love going out to eat. Libras, we be wilding like that. When it comes to love, when it comes to actually love relationships, we be ODing on that. So we be overindulging in that shit, aka never single, always in a relationship, always in a situationship, So that's the Libra shit. Then Pisces, just anything they love, they get lost in that shit. So why Pisces could get Pisces are one of the signs in the zodiac that have high potential to deal with addictions, attachments. They deal with the 12th house energy. So it's like they're so connected to the astral realm. They're so connected to their imagination, They're so connected to the subconscious. And when you're so invested in the subconscious in your imagination, in this earthly realm, you may gravitate to a thing or two to help you feel like you're tapping into that. So a Pisces, naturally intuitive as hell. A Pisces don't need alcohol, a drink, a pill to tap them into no type of subconscious energy, no type of spiritual, uplifted feeling energy. None of us really do. But when we look at Pisces energy, once they get that touch of it, you know, first time hitting the blunt, first time whatever, is like, oh shit, this gonna be my shit to send me in another realm all the time. I didn't know I could really leave Earth out this motherfucker. I just thought I'd do that shit in my dreams or when I'm daydreaming. When I hit this blunt, I really leave this motherfucker. Y'all be thinking I'm spaced out now? Y'all be thinking I don't be here now? I'm unrealistic? Don't see me when I'm high. Pisces be another world, you know? When they sober, they in another world. So imagine under the influence. Or shout out to everybody who got planets in the 12th house, especially Venus in the 12th house. Venus in the 12th house, goodness gracious, gotta be careful, you know? Venus in certain places, period. So like I just said, Venus in 8th house. So you got to know what placements you have to monitor your shit. It's just like being an alcoholic and, you know, going to AA meetings and shit. You have to be conscious of, that you do have a attachment or you overindulge in something. So this is looking at our Venus placement. Once again, the house we got Venus in. Now, somebody said whose chart is this? This is the natural energies. These are the energies right now. So, you know, we got the sun, Saturn, and Aquarius. Boom, boom, boom. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to go over. Venus is going direct. We will be talking about Venus going direct through the houses sometime this weekend, you know, possibly the start of next week. But let's just run through Mars. Let's run through Mars and Capricorn. Let me see. Was there any other significant energies I want to go through? I want to talk about the moon. Okay, and also these moon. The moon is sextiling the sun, but you know, 8 degrees. It won't be sextiling it tomorrow for real. By the time we're up, starting our day tomorrow. So today with the sun sextile moon, today was actually a great day. It was a great day for opportunities, networking, different beliefs, ideas, creativity. You know, relating your awareness about things because the sun is in Aquarius. All right, so air is the messenger. You know, air connects. Then the moon and fire is the feeling of, you know, dealing with teaching, is dealing with, you know, once again, that fire energy, expression, insight, awareness. So that sun in Aquarius helped us to, you know, move Sag energy around today, to move it around. This is why people that have fire and air in their chart, they know, they not only, I mean, a lot of heavy air signs can know a lot of people, but fire and air in the chart, these people can connect a lot. Now, it's funny because fire detaches, you know, fire detaches and transform. It's real individual energy. But when you got air in the mix, these are people that know like how to, you know, they know how to help you to make your visions come to life. They know how to make their visions come to life. They know how to, they know who to relate to, what type of environment, who to invite into situations, dealing with their creativity or whatnot, or dealing with the things they believe in, they see it. Okay. And these are really charismatic individuals as well. You know, people that got like air and air and fire and they sun moon, 9 out of 10 times they're very charismatic. I'm trying to like who Soulja Boy, he a Leo moon, he a Leo sun, Aries moon, Cardi B, Libra sun, Aries moon. What's some air signs? What's some air signs? I don't know everybody moon sign. What's a fire sign? What's a fire sign? Megan Thee Stallion, Aquarius sun, Leo moon. Yep. Like look at her energy. She's really marketable. You know, she marketable. Like she got Leo energy on top of that. You know, I ain't never see somebody with Leo energy you can't market. I ain't never seen nobody with Leo energy that can't be the face of a business, a brand, or something. You feel me? That's how that wouldn't go. But so yeah, so with the moon sextiling the sun, that's the type of energy that we was in. It's not going to be really sextiling tomorrow from a degree perspective, but the moon still will be in Sagittarius, so we're still going to feel that influence. I said this in one of my energy updates earlier this week, maybe Monday, Tuesday. This was when the moon was in, where was the moon at? This is when the moon was in Scorpio. Yeah, when the moon was in Scorpio, I was saying, you know, guys, we in the early stages of Aquarius. Aquarius season. You have to be networking and letting people know what y'all into right now. Your friend invites you to a mutual event. People ask you what you're doing. Let them know what you're working on. And like, shit, you trying to be an artist? Be like, yeah, I work here, this and that, but shit, I'll be making music on the side. You feel me? So, but it's Border Lucky Libra on all platforms, Spotify, YouTube Music. You feel me? Let people know what you're working on, what you're constructing. Is Aquarius season. You don't know what resource, what relationship, it's right around the corner from you developing right now that could help with so much in your life. You know what type of fruitful associates that you can make around this time. You know, Aquarius energy deal with the outside world. So right now there's so much opportunity to connect what you're working on in the outside world. All right. So it's very important to understand right now, guys. Let people know what you're working on. And then we also had the moon sextile Saturn. All right. So when we got the moon sextile Saturn, that means the moon is making harmonious contact with Saturn. When we have a sextile, anything that the moon is making harmonious contact with, this is something that's going to be easier for the collective, to react to and understand during this transit. So Saturn, we know Saturn deals with restriction and responsibility. We know it deals with reality. So even though the moon is transiting Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is dealing with more of a philosophical, spiritual approach, with the moon sextile and Saturn, this is the influence where a lot of us start feeling like we have to get more serious about our spirituality today. We have to be more serious about how we apply what we know. So a lot of people right now probably want to start new projects in their life. We're going through this whole retrograde and shit. So Venus and retrograde got you reevaluating how much you appreciate your damn self. It's like, damn, I must not appreciate my damn self because I don't be putting myself in positions to expand shit, to build shit. I got these ideas. I'm not putting time into that. I should be building this. I'm not. So a lot of us was feeling frustrated with Venus and retrograde because we was realizing we don't appreciate self as much as we should. We don't love self as much as we should. We don't appreciate our own talents as much as we should. Venus retrograde, a lot of y'all got reminded about things y'all good at. A lot of y'all got reminded about things y'all talented at. Venus has a sense of creativity. So with all that being said, Venus, the moon making contact with Saturn had us way more realistic or way more serious, because Saturn has that sense of seriousness, way more serious about how we apply our knowledge and wisdom, how we apply our, the vision that we see about something into reality, how we get to working on it, Saturn is in, we got Saturn in Aquarius. So this was a real harmonious energy we was in today. We're going to be feeling it tomorrow too. This is the type of energy this is why y'all don't really want to have no up in the air conversations with nobody right now. Somebody come up to you at work, start talking to you about the game last night, Dancing with the Stars. You don't want to hear none of that shit right now. Your mind, that moon was square Saturn today. We got all the Saturn energy in Aquarius, Capricorn. We want to hear business opportunities. I want to hear about how you making money outside this job, so I could possibly go make money doing that shit outside this job. Like everybody's sense of communication is a bit more serious, direct, and Saturn-like, business first. Okay, so that intensified the energy of us dealing with reality and being more serious today with the moon making contact with Saturn. But that's not to say people were just around here reacting in a real uptight, serious, detached way. It's more so saying that people had more of a realistic approach about things that they're involved in today, So that's a harmonious energy that we could continue to hone in on moving into tomorrow. All right, guys. We know Venus moved back into Capricorn the other day. Okay. Not Venus. Mercury moved back into Capricorn the other day. We'll be going direct next month, I believe, on the 25th, if I'm not mistaken. No, not the 25th. We're gonna fast forward that later. So let's get into Mars through the houses. All right, let's get into Mars through the houses. Now, when we look at Mars, you Caribbean, sounds like you from NYC. Now, I'm Nigerian. You feel me? I'm Nigerian. My people's was my people. I was born here though. I was raised in the Bronx. I was raised in Bronx, New York. But yeah, my people's Nigerian, all that. You feel me? Got that good old African blood. You feel me? But the Nigerians be getting on me though. Nigerians be getting on me. They be saying I'm too Americanized. They be getting on me. I used to go to Rutgers University in New Jersey. The Nigerian community is strong over there. It's strong as hell over there. So like, you know, they was wearing the clothing. They was throwing African parties. And they used to look at me like, yo, you a fake ass Nigerian. You don't know none of the songs we playing. You skipping the fufu at the party. You going to get pizza and shit. Like, you're fake ass. So like, they used to get on my ass. But yeah, man. Yes, tomorrow I'm posting for the first time about my spiritual journey. Let's get it. Let's get it, Kaisha. You feel me? You got it. And that's the thing. That's the thing with this energy. Nigel, know they carry last diaspora. Damn, let's get it. All right, Harold. But for the most part, this is the time. Listen, Kaisha. You're talking about you about to post tomorrow about your spiritual journey. This is the time to experiment, guys. You can't get nowhere in life if you're not willing to experiment with things. Being idle gets you nowhere. You ain't never gonna get you're never gonna get a master thought idea that just falls in your head, or a miracle that just falls in your lap and shit just opens up out of nowhere. No, that shit, we get all type of $1 million ideas and shit and visions all the time, but that shit come from experimenting. That shit comes from getting out here and doing things. So with you taking that step tomorrow, watch how things are going to continue to open up and blossom for you, because that's how the universe works. You take steps experimenting, universe takes steps to help you start walking the right path, to redirecting you, renavigating you. You know, if you watch me, you know I say this shit all the time. Okay, but how does universe renavigate you if you're not walking nowhere, right? So Mars through the houses, guys. Mars through the houses. Okay, Mars through the houses. Now, when we look at Mars, what do we need to understand about Mars? When we look at the planets in the zodiac, we need to understand planets are tools. These are tools that we're using. Okay? So before you came into this realm, you signed all type of contracts, right? You signed all type of contracts and shit. And you was like, let me get the sun in Pisces because I want my awareness and I want the tool that I'm using for my actions to be in the Pisces energy. Let me get my moon in Sagittarius because I want the way that I react, the tool I use to react, the tool I use to feel and process my emotions to be Sagittarius-like. Let me get my Mercury in Sagittarius too. I want the way I think and communicate, the tool I use for thinking and communicate. These are tools. So what type of tool is Mars? Mars is the tool that rules our passion. Mars is the tool that rules our intentions. Mars is the tool that rules, has a huge influence over what we may become goal-oriented around. All right? Mars is our integrity. Mars is our courage. Mars is our motives. So before you take action on something, you have a motive, So when we look at Mars through the houses, we know the houses areas of life. Okay. First house, personal area life. Fourth house, home area life. Seventh house, relationship area life. 10th house, career area life. So on and so on. So whatever house Mars is in, it's very important to understand this is an area of your life where you're going to be very goal-oriented at. This is an area like you're going to be naturally planting a lot of intentions in this house. And this is a house that's going to be going through transformation, because Mars rules transformation. You have to understand Mars is a very individual energy. So whatever house Mars is in, you're naturally going to have a real individual outlook when things happen in that house. Okay? And on top of that, because Mars is so individual and Mars goes against the grain, aka Aries, aka Scorpio. Throw Capricorn in there. Mars is exalted in Capricorn, so it rules Aries and Scorpio, but it's exalted in Capricorn. So when you that individual, you're going to go through transformations, okay? I think my placement is interesting because it's a Virgo in the 5th house. All right. So when we look at the house, you're going to be real goal-oriented in the house, but with all that being said, this is where most of your frustrations in life may come from. A lot of frustrations in life come from our squares, our opposites. The house you have Mars and Pluto in. The house you have Mars and Pluto in. North Node house. That North Node house. You have some frustrations in that house, all right? Shit, you might be scared in that house at times. So this is the influence Mars brings, y'all. This is the influence Mars brings. So let's go through the houses, all right? Mars in the first house. Mars in the first house. Now, Mars is home here. This is Mars shit. Okay? So when Mars is in this house, it's comfortable to do what it feels like doing when it wants to do it. Okay? When it comes to first house things, how you personally express yourself, your personal goals and aspirations and intentions. All right? Your natural personality is going to be somewhat direct, aggressive. All right? Passionate. Okay? So when Mars is in the first house, it's home here. So when it comes to things dealing with your personal aspirations, personal goals, Mars don't need nobody to motivate it in this house. Mars don't need nobody to come in the house in the first house like, come on, Mars, set some intentions on your personal goals and aspirations. Come on, Mars, be passionate about your personal life and what you want to build in your personal life. Mars don't need none of that. Mars is ready to go in the first house, all right? Mars is a motivated individual in the first house. Mars can be very stubborn in the first house. So this individual is going to be a passionate individual. This individual is going to be competitive as a motherfucker too. Mars in the first house is so competitive that they like I'm talking about, when people say, I ain't competing with nobody else, I'm competing with myself. Mars in the first house competing with themselves on a whole nother level. Like Mars in the first house, these are the individuals, real Aries like. All right. How about I have Mars and North Node both in the 7th house? Can you say please when you get to 7th house about those two? No problem. I'm gonna try not to take too much time on each one. You feel me? It's already 10:50. I don't want to keep y'all too late. I've been wanting to go live earlier. But so when we look at Mars in the first house, it don't need nobody to motivate or inspire it here. If you know a Mars in the first house person and they're lazy or they always need a spark or they be depressed or anybody can be depressed, but like naturally their personality is not they don't have a go-getter like personality. They need pushes. They need people to spark them to do things in their personal life. There's some type of aspects here. Maybe they got the sun in the 7th house, sun in the 4th house. It's something hidden at Mars. Because Mars in the first house don't play no games. If Mars want to get some shit accomplished and manifested in the first house, it goes hard. It don't even take its time trying to learn shit. It goes right into the experience. It gets active. It just starts doing it. All right. So with Mars but it's very stubborn here. Mars can create a crazy tunnel vision in the first house. First house individuals can have a crazy tunnel vision with Mars here. Any type of Mars influence hit in the first house. Scorpio risings, Aries risings, Capricorn risings, the tunnel vision for what they want to create in their first house can be very strong. Okay. So, but these individuals lack patience. They may lack patience. There may be understanding of others at times, other people, personal circumstances at times, because they're kind of so passionate and invested in their own. They could kind of be a little blindsided into considering other people's personal issues at times. So you may notice if you dated somebody with Mars in the first house, you feel me? Or you got a friend, you got a relative Mars in the first house. They may have these once again, real Aries like characteristics. Okay. Now another thing about Mars in the first house, these individuals very durable. The first house rules the head, the body. These are the type of athletes that tear their ACL, break their foot. And it's like, damn, usually when a nigga tear their ACL, they not playing for like 8 months to a year. These motherfuckers come back in 7 months, 6 months. You're like, damn, how you on the court again? Did you tear your ACL? I got that Mars in the first house, baby. Body durable, body strong. These motherfuckers take a lot of hits to the head. These are the boxers, Mars in the first house boxers, very resilient. Actually, I should make a list of them. Matter of fact, I don't know if it's gonna be. I don't know if it's gonna Mars in the first house. It is a cup. Mars in the first house. All right, hold on. Let's take a look, y'all. Let's take a look at some Mars in the first house individuals. Let's see if any, because I want to see if. All right, yeah. So for a lot of y'all, if y'all still looking for websites to generate natal charts and whatnot, this is what I use. I use Astro Theme, guys. All right. So Mars in the first house. Now, another thing about Mars in the first house, before we look at this list, this is also likely with Aries risings. You can have a real reddish skin tone. Mars can bring that type of skin tone, that aura into the first house. When it comes into the facial expression, because the first house also rules facial expression, right? Personal presentation. Mars in the first house. This is also for Aries and Scorpio risings. They're gonna have that intensity right here. Hold on. They're gonna have that intensity right here in the arch of their eyebrows, looking like they're concentrating, focused, or quote unquote resting bitch face. You're gonna have that with Mars in the first house. It may look like they're always intentional, they always intending to do something. Feel me? And that's just that Mars passion intensity. Okay. So they can have that real strong, seductive look too. Real strong seductive look too, real glaring eyes and that reddish like skin tone, that reddish like aura. Now, I just want to see what boxes could come up on this. So you got Taylor Swift, Johnny Depp, Brad Pitt, Gandhi. That's Gandhi. Yep, Gandhi got Mars in the first house. Ain't nobody could tell him nothing when he was like, I ain't eating no food. That's it. I'm fasting. Can't tell me nothing. Feel me? Kourtney Kardashian, Bill Clinton. I just want to see if there's some athletes here. Bradley Cooper. You feel me? All right, I'm gonna look up some boxers and see if I can get some charts on them. Because with celebrities, sometimes it's hard. We don't always get birth times. We don't always get birth times, so we can't always see the house system. Okay. Another energy that could play out like Mars in Aries is Mars in the first house is Mars in Aries. Okay. So you can have that once again. Mars in Aries can have that intensity when it comes to their personal expression. When it comes to their personal goals and priorities. Now, another thing about Mars in the first house that's kind of underrated. These are not the most. You would think Mars in the first house, because it's home there, and the first house deal with personal expression. You would think these are the most expressive people. They're really introverted individuals. Mars in the first house is introverted individuals because Mars is intentional. It rules intentions. The influence before you take action. So when you put it in the first house, how you personally express yourself, this person is always gonna look like they holding in what they want to express. And that's the vibe you get from them, but they ain't really shit they want to express. It's just that they may have a lot of intentions, motives, goals, things they want to do, things they're passionate about in their subconscious. All right. Planets in your first house is going to have a huge, this is not only your attribute to your personality. This is not only an attribute to how you personally express yourself. This is also an attribute attached to how you look at the world. So, and how you deal with your personal issues. So when you got Mars in the first house, you're going to be highly invested into, your personal circumstances. Okay. So that's Mars in the first house. My Mars in the first house individuals got to practice patience. You have to practice being more open-minded because the things you're passionate about, you never know how much knowledge and wisdom you can actually soak up from other individuals, because Mars in the first house just be so passionate and locked in about certain things personally to the point that, some people could be giving them advice that can actually help. And it's like, they just trying to work their personal way. So, that's something you got to keep in mind. And Mars in the first house, you got to work on not taking things personal all the time. Mars be wanting to fight. Mars is aggressive. Mars is impulsive. So when Mars in the first house, yeah, you are an introverted individual, but there are times where you could express yourself in an impulsive or extreme way. There are times where you take things personal. There's times you take things personal from loved ones. You take constructive critique too personal. But boy, are these some go get it spirits. These are some go getter spirits right here. Mars in the first house. A lot of them don't run from confrontation too. A lot of them don't run from confrontation. A lot of them confrontation excites them. They may get excited to whip somebody's ass. Mars in the first house. A lot of them may have anger management issues because it's too much goddamn passion they have. You know, emotion can run high when it comes to things with personal circumstances. You know, Venus and Mars have a huge influence on how we deal with feelings and emotions. So it ain't just the moon. The moon is actually filtering what the feelings we pick up from Mars and Venus. Your moon is like the ultimate processor of everything internally. So yeah, your moon does deal with your thoughts to an extent, which Mercury rules your thoughts, but the moon does deal with the thoughts to an extent because the thoughts is internal. The moon has a touch on everything internal. All right. So if Mars deal with our passions, intentions, and what once again we're passionate about or what frustrates us, that's a feeling. And then when we look at Venus, when it deals with what we love, what we appreciate, that's a feeling, you know. So these things, the moon picks up on these things and starts filtering them, starts trying to understand them. So depending on your moon archetype, whether you got the moon in Scorpio, Aries, Taurus, Capricorn, this is how your moon processes the different placements, the different feelings and emotions from your Venus and Mars. So this is why, guys, I make TikToks. I'll make a TikTok or whatnot and say these zodiac signs, this, that, and the third. But guys, do y'all see how much goes into who you are? So you can have this whole sun sign, but depending on what's hitting your sun sign, from a square, from an opposite, from a conjunction, depending on where your Venus and Mars at, like a lot of these things affect all. You have to take into consideration all your energies when you're listening to your favorite astrologer, when you're studying a placement. You have to take into consideration the rest of your energies, especially the placement you're studying, the placement you're learning about. You have to consider what it's making contact with. Okay, so if you're an Aries, but Saturn is conjunct your sun in Aries, you're going to be way more of a realistic in the present Aries than a natural other Aries that might be a little too sporadic, too ahead of itself, always chasing their visions. This Aries is going to be a little bit more in the present. And then let's say it's in the 7th house. Now you got an Aries that's passionate of dealing with others. It's passionate about dealing with relationships and other individuals. When the natural Aries don't care about others as much, it's more passionate about his personal, intentions and goals. And it's more realistic here, more stable. So it's so many things that affect just your sun sign archetype, guys. You feel me? But that's what we got. That's what we got going on with Mars in the first house. I didn't even mean to spend that much time on Mars in the first house, but hey, man, it's Mars in the first house is a home placement, so I ain't had no choice. That's how that one plays out. Mars in the first. Is there anything else? These people, I said, yeah, they deal with some anger at times. These people get frustrated when things in their personal life don't go the way they wanted to. Can take things personal, but highly motivated. These people are highly motivated. They're courageous. These are really brave individuals a lot of the time. Mars in the first house, okay? And, if they're creative, when they're creative, when they have a talent, when they have something they want to invest in, they jump into it. They jump into that shit, Mars. So Mars individuals be having a lot of wisdom from things that they took action on in their experience, not shit that they learned and studied from others or learned from others. No, you talking to a Mars in first house person, a lot of their wisdom comes from shit that they allowed themselves to jump into and do. You feel me? Mars in the second house, all right? I'm going to go a little quicker now, all right? Mars in the second house. Now, what's the second house? The second house deals with, once again, is the Earth house. It deals with reality. This is the natural house for Taurus's influence. The second house deals with our value system, the people, places, and things that we value, the things that we value within ourselves, our talents, our gifts, our creative attributes, and also has an influence on security, stability, all right? Self-esteem. So when you got Mars in this house, Mars don't like to be in this house. All right. Now, this is the thing, guys. Just because I say Mars likes to be in the house and Mars don't like to be in the house, there's a positive, negative to everything. So we just talked about Mars in the first house, which Mars loves to be in the first house. Mars loves to be in the first house, but we had negatives there too. Okay. And another thing about Mars in the first house, hold on. It's another thing. You know, Mars in the first house is real comfortable. Whenever you have a planet in the house whenever you have a planet in the house that is home, you get real comfortable there. So you may listen to astrology and be like, oh, you got Venus in the 7th house. This, that, and third is such a great placement because the sun is home here. I mean, Venus is home here. Or you got the sun in the 5th house. You know, the sun is home here. You got Mars in the 1st and the 8th house. You know, you got Venus in the 2nd house. You can get so comfortable and content in that area. It's not even funny. Just because it's home there. Just like how when we're in our house, we get a little too comfortable in our home too. We oversleep in our home too. Sometimes, you know, you don't clean shit up until you got some guests coming over. Until it's sneaky link time. You don't start, let me move my put my laundry in the other room, take my garbage out, see what's under my bed, you know, under my dirty socks up out of there. You feel me? Change my sheets. Let me change my bed sheets. I've been drooling on my bed sheets past 3 weeks. Shorty about to come over and sleep over. She's about to smell all my drawers, funky ass smell on your bed, on your pillowcases. So sometimes we don't even clean the crib up like that. We allow ourselves to be a little, come home from work or whatnot. You be a little tired. You just throw your shit here, take a shower, make food, you go to sleep. You like, I'm off tomorrow. I'll take care of all this shit tomorrow. So that's how Mars play out, or home planets play out. So you naturally have way more of an awareness with that energy. You brought experience and an expanded awareness on how to deal with that energy in comparison to others, but you get a little too comfortable with your gift and your power in this lifetime. All right. Mars in the 2nd house. So Mars don't like to be here. Why? Because Mars just likes to go. Mars just likes to go. It don't like people holding it back. And it don't really move slow. You know, it's not even about Mars moving slow. It's not about Mars moving so fast. It's more so about when Mars wants to move, it wants to move. And it don't got time to be seeing what everybody else doing. So if we got any Aries in the building, or anybody that dated the Aries, anybody that dated a, you know, Aries don't be waiting for no Aries. Aries want to go do some shit. They just go do that shit. Aries be having their friends like, damn, why you ain't call me, let me know? I would have went to the store with you and shit. I was hungry too. Like, nah, I just went to the store real quick. I had to handle my business real quick. I'm back now. Shit was good. You feel me? So when we look at Mars in the 2nd house, the reason Mars don't like to be here is because Mars got to be more patient here. Mars got to learn, because the 2nd house, once again, this is the garden house. This is where you plant a seed within something that you feel like you're talented at, you're creative at, you're good at, in order to grow something in your life, in order to stabilize something in your life, right? This house has to deal with your self-esteem as well. So when you got Mars in this house, you're going to be hella passionate, hella intentional about planting seeds in your life, starting businesses, you know, generating monetary gains, building stability and security. Mars in the 2nd house individuals, they love that, you know, getting to the bag type of journey. They love that shit. You feel me? These are individuals, Mars in the 2nd house, these are individuals that get money, and that they just made some money to handle so much shit in their life, but that shit just motivated them even more to run it up even more. Like these people get it popping on a business level. Now, this is the thing with Mars in the 2nd house. These individuals sometimes go through transformations in career, go through transformations with things that they're invested in, into building security, stability, because they're not patient. And they might change things too much. Because Mars deal with transformation, right? When Mars feel like just moving on something, acting on something is going to do it. So sometime in the 2nd house, we got to move it patient. When you plant a seed, when you have a gift, a talent, or something that you believe within yourself, right? Something you value within yourself, and you want to show it to the world. You want to make it a business or not. You want to monetize it. You got to have time. You got to have some patience planting that seed, watering that seed, nurturing that seed, putting time into that seed, investing in that seed, getting resources for that seed, you know, relating, communicating that seed to everybody else, branding that seed. So Mars sometimes it's hard for Mars to understand there's a process to that shit. Mars want to get to the bag from, you know, want to get to the bag right away in that house. Wants to get to the security, stability, monetary gains right away in that house. So yes, it's going to be passionate about building security and stability, but the more it learns pace in this house, that's when Mars turned into a beast here. When Mars start learning pace in the 2nd house, when Mars start learning that, you know, even though they passionate as hell for something, they still, they still could take off so much groundwork, doing things gradually, finding gradual pockets, timely pockets to put their passion and their energy and their intensity into, and then learn how to reflect, exhale instead of being on go in that area. That's when Mars turned into a beast in the second house. Now, the thing is, the second house, this is the thing. The second house is also dealing with the material world, period. Money, monetary gains. There's really no house in the zodiac that deal with money for real, because money is a man-made thing. Y'all gotta understand, when we look at the houses 1 through 12, ain't none of these houses like physical things. They manifest into physical things. So the fourth house ain't your father, your mother, your relatives, your home, your house. It's the root chakra. I said root chakra. It's the heart chakra. It's emotional stability. It's the subconscious. So it's the frequency vibration of privacy, solitude, emotional stability. So that house manifests into the area we deal with that a lot. Our parents, these are family. These are the first things we're emotionally connected to. These are the first thing that pull on our emotions in this experience. Where do we deal with solitude and privacy? In our home, before we go to sleep, in our sanctuary. Where do we mostly reflect on our emotions, on our subconscious shit? Before your ass go to bed, you start thinking about your whole life before you go to bed. Getting your subconscious right. So it manifests into these things. So when you look at the second house deal with a value system. Shout out to my favorite astrologer, Dolo the Pilot Man. Once again, I think he's the wisest metaphysical. I think he's one of the best astrologers out here, but also I think he's one of the wisest metaphysical teachers I've ever ran into. And I've been into people like Phil Valentine and Bobby Hemmett since I was a kid. But one thing he says about no, I was about to make a point about I just lost thought of track. I was about to make 2 points at once. See, that's that Libra shit. Too much goddamn thoughts, too much air. But it'll come back. But for the most part, when we're dealing with that Mars in the second house, it needs to learn how to be more patient, have more pace here. Material world, excuse me. So, when Mars in the second house, when it comes to the material world, material realm, okay, there we go. I knew it was going to come back. So the reason I brought up Dolo the Pilot Man is because, he mentioned something about, with the second house, because we value monetary gains, we value money in this society, it manifests into that in the second house, right? That's not be spiritual. That's not be spiritual. That's not going to bring some shit back. But when you got that Mars in the second house, when you look at that second house, it manifests into monetary gains, into security and stability, but it's really dealing with, our value system, what we feel like we have, how we could use what we have to build that security and stability in our life. All right. And overall our value system. So when you got Mars in the second house, these people could be somewhat messing with their possessions, can get them frustrated and angry. Don't be fucking with their possessions. Don't be moving their shit around. Have respect for their shit, because they're gonna respect your possessions too. And simply their income and how they get to the bag and their sense of security and stability are the things that will frustrate them the most when it's not going the way that they project them things to go. All right. These people can sometimes not superficial like Venus in the second house, but it could just put a significance. It could put a significance on material things. So like Venus in the second house, she's gonna go to the mall and buy these Prada shoes. And when she get home, she's gonna be looking at them like, oh my God, they're so beautiful. She gonna start treating them like it's like almost a person or some shit. Oh my God, I love these. Oh my God. You probably have a little emotional connection towards the material. Mars in the second house wants the Prada shoes, but it ain't going to super value it like that. But it's going to be determined and passionate to get those material things. You feel me? So you have the Venus in the second house person, Mars in the second house person, Venus in the second house person. They both go to the party. They both go to the same function. Venus in the second house party. She's more intrigued. She or he is more intrigued, more enticed to make sure people see their shit, see their shoes and shit, see their new Prada shoes and shit. Mars in that house, to Mars in the second house, it's just more. It's more of a material stamp, and they're not valuing it as much, but they can have that drive, that passion to collect material things. All right. So it'll play out like that. It'll play out like that in that type of way. It's like that's the stamp. Like I get money. Like I get these things to show I get money and shit. You feel me? Like that's how Mars plays out in the second house. What else is important about Mars in the second house? Mars in the second house. Mars. These people values change a lot. Their values may change a lot. Now, this also depends what sign is in this house, but Mars, remember, it changes, it transforms. So these individuals may be real passionate about, wanting to be in this career industry for this many years in your life, and then their value system may evolve over time based off their experiences and the transformations they went through in that area, leading them to something else. So Mars in the second house can transform within the work career field a lot, even within the industry. So let's say they deal with real estate, they may change a lot what they do in real estate. So it's like they may go from wholesaling to to flipping cribs to they'll move around a lot, in the second house. Yep, I'm still in the second house, but we literally wrapping it up now. All right. Mars in the third house. Now the third house deals with our local environment, friends, close friends, familiar faces and places, our adolescent stages, the school you went to, elementary, junior high school you went to, people, places, and things in your local environment, and how all of this energy in your local environment, how these things influence how you interact or communicate. All right. Also, emphasis, got Mars in the first, you impatient. So that's what Mars in that that's what Mars in the what's the name? I mean, that's what the third house is dealing with. That's what the third house is dealing with. So excuse me, guys. All right. So when you throw Mars in there, I could kind of relate to this energy because I don't got Mars in the third house, but I got Aries in the third house. My third house ruler is Mars. So when you got Mars in the third house, all right, now these individuals, they're going to be, somewhat impulsive communicators, passionate communicators, upbeat communicators, right? But they may experience a lot of transformation in their goddamn third house. So early in life, you may have been bullying people in your neighborhood, or you was getting bullied. You may have been getting into a bunch of fights in the neighborhood. You may fight with your siblings a lot, Mars in the third house. But this person is going to have a passion and set intentions to learn new things, to use the throat chakra. All right? So Mars in the third house, people, these are your teachers, your public speakers, that they have a projection when they communicate. They can inspire and motivate a lot of individuals in their environment by their ideals and how they communicate. So these could be some powerful teachers here. But we'll experience a lot of transformation in the third house. We'll get into some confrontation and fights in the third house. All right. See, the third house deals with relationships. The third house is the air house. It's a social house. We interact in this house. So when you got Mars in this house, Mars in the third house this person is going to experience a lot of things that makes it start developing a real individual way of communicating with others, dealing with others. You feel me? So when they speak, when they communicate with that passion, you feel me? A lot of that stems from previous experiences dealing with people, These people may be a little too blunt, maybe a little too blunt and direct with the way they communicate, you know? But over time, you start to really respect the shit. You start to really respect it. Because these type of individuals start filtering how people don't be as direct, you know? The more they care about an individual, the more direct they get. Okay. Mars in the third house gotta be careful that they don't turn into they don't because you might have some Mars in air houses can deal with being manipulated, or you guys can develop characteristics to, I don't want to say characteristics, but you can develop the way of thinking, you know, to manipulate others with Mars in the third house. I mean, in air houses, period. So Mars in the third house can manifest situations being taken advantage on, lied to, cheated on, abuse, fighting with siblings, friends, you know, manipulation, or once again, hidden agendas in their life at an early age, or with early friends, or with siblings, with cousins, with relatives. However, you know, with that being said, these individuals, they just start to develop a way more straightforward way of dealing with people a lot of times based off of these situations with dealing with people with Mars in the third house. But they passionate to learn, they passionate to teach, they passionate to share their insight and information with others. They're passionate about that. A lot of Mars in the third house, see, wherever you have Mars at, you're going to fight. So Mars in the third house, a lot of times, these is your neighborhood activists. These is the ladies in your neighborhood doing the back to school drive for the kids. You feel me? Rallying up everybody in the neighborhood. They passionate about the community. Third house is community. Okay? So Mars get passionate here. These your neighborhood activists. These people starting charities in their neighborhood, you know, back to school drives. Mars in the third house. They go hard for the hood. They go hard for the community. They go hard for their friends, you know. Mars in the third will whip your ass messing with their siblings. Y'all seen the movie The Wood? Who's seen the movie The Wood in here? Y'all know the movie The Wood, when what's the name moved to North Carolina. What's his name again? Shit. I forgot the main character name. But the main character from The Wood, he moved from North Carolina to California. There's all type of gangs and shit going on. First day of school, he get gassed to touch some girl ass. Right when he do it, she's like, wait, after school, my brother gonna come whip your ass. Her brother that came, Mars in the third house. Mars in the third house. Tracy, whoop old boy ass. That's what you get for putting your hands on my sister, cuz. All right? What's wrong with you? Mars in the third house. Do I look like I play about my familiar, what's familiar to me? Do I look like I play about siblings, cousins, relatives, close friends? So yeah, Mars in the third house, those them. Those is them. All right? Could be a little potty mouth. Here. But you're Mike. Thank you, Jasmine. Mike. You also said, would that be the same for Scorpio too? Yep. So if you got Scorpio in the third house, your third house ruler is Mars. All right. So Mars be bringing that energy wherever it's at to your third house. All right. So you want to find where Mars is at, because whatever house Mars is in, all right, if you got Aries or Scorpio in this house, whatever house Mars is in, this is gonna be the house that whatever house Mars is in. Say you got Mars in the ninth house. All right. So if you got Aries, Scorpio in the third house, Mars in the ninth house, that means what Mars is going through in the ninth house. All right. It brings them experiences into the third house. So, you know, ninth house deals with, you know, higher learning, teaching, knowledge, and wisdom. So you bring a lot of them influences, being passionate to learn, create new experiences into your third house. So that's how that play out. But we're going to get to the ninth house. So yeah, that's Mars in the third house, man. That's Mars in the third house all day, every day. Passionate communicators, passionate for their community. You know, when these people try to play, these people take it very offensive when you try to insult their intelligence or try to play them like they don't know what they be knowing. they take this highly offensive here. All right. So that's Mars in the 3rd house. Mars in the 4th house. What time is it? All right, guys. Mars in the 4th house. Mars don't like to be here. The 4th house is dealing with the home, emotional stability, privacy, solitude, family matters, processing your emotions, understanding the emotions, your emotional well-being. All right. I'm finding different ways to say the same thing. But that's the 4th house. All right. Family environment, the heart chakra. Now, if we know the 4th house rules the heart chakra, if we put Mars by there, you know, if we put Mars by here, what happens? When it comes to this person's heart, it's a little too amped, you know? It's a little bit too, the temperament is very high here, okay? So people with Mars in the 4th house, these are going to be very introverted individuals. They're going to be passionate about their solitude and their space and having being able to have their sanctuary to tap into their peace of mind. This is what they're passionate about. This is what they set intentions on, all right? Developing that solitude here, okay? Now, the thing is, with Mars in the 4th house, we know the 4th house is also correlating in the external realm, is correlating to the relationship with our parents. It's correlating to family members, family environment as a whole. So, we keeping it funky here. We're keeping it funky, guys. Mars in the 4th house can deal with abusive situations in the home. Whether it's whatever forms of abuse, So for anybody that has Mars in the 4th house and has experienced anything at that level, a lot of that may have stemmed from Mars in the 4th house. A lot of your experiences that you're dealing with in this lifetime is here to actually learn how to spiritually grow and evolve through the forms of abuse, confrontation, friction in the 4th house. Mars in the 4th house can have anger management issues, because the temperament, you got Mars by your heart chakra. So this individual is motivated, to develop their emotional stability through the things that make them feel comfortable in life, whether it's career, the creative endeavors, whatever they do. These individuals get real passionate about trying to build their home. These people can be real passionate to create a family of their own. That's something they're going to be intentional about. It's very extreme here. Mars in the 4th house ain't really up in the air about family. Either they're passionate in creating one, or they don't want a motherfucking family. You're not really going to find a gray area. You're not going to ask a Mars in the 4th house person like, hey, what do you think about family? This, that, you want to get married one day, have kids? It ain't if it happens that. No. Either they intentional about that shit, they want to have a family of their goddamn own, or they rather hold on to their privacy, their solitude, their individuality, and have their relationships correlate around that. All right? Venus in your 7th house, Lord, obviously have a lot to play with relationships and marriage. But when we were talking about constructing that home environment, Mars in the 4th house may still want to deal with relationships, may still want to intimately connect with people, but it may not want to deal with a family. It may not want family responsibility. Okay, so Mars in the 4th house, these individuals is a little too passionate at times because they got Mars right by their goddamn heart. So a lot of times the reactions can be impulsive. A lot of times they can be short-tempered here. All right. A lot of times Mars in the 4th house individuals can become possessive over the things they care about. So they could care about a person, place, a thing. They may always want that in their space, in their home, in their private space. 4th house deal with what we care about. So you got to be careful of dealing with, possessiveness, amongst the things you emotionally invested into. But yeah, that power and control energy can be strong in the family home environment. You may have relationship good with your mom, but the relationship with your father is some whole other power and controlling shit. Relationship good with your father, but there's a whole power and controlling issue with your mother. Possibly abuse with one of their asses. Fight with your siblings a lot or something. Another thing about Mars in the 1st house, we have like the shifts of Mars in the 1st house being real passionate about family ideals, culture, tradition, what's going on in the home. But at the same time, Mars is very individual. So Mars in the 4th house individuals, these could be the people in the household and the family that come off like the black sheep, like the one that goes against the grain, the one that does everything different from the family, got different spiritual beliefs from everybody in the family. In some type of shape or form, everybody was doing. You bring transformation into the home. So the family tradition was, get raised in this house, go to college, and get a job. get a nice career. All three of your siblings before you did the same thing, but you the one talking about you about to graduate high school. You the one talking about like, yeah, I'm about to. I think I'm going to the army, or like, oh shit, yeah, I don't know about college, pops. Like, I think I might have to start my own business. I might get, feel me? Like, I don't know about all that shit. Like, I'm going to boarding school for high school or some shit. You be changing cultural, you changing the traditions in your house, yo, and you're not doing it on purpose. Mars in the fourth house is your individuality. The individuality about what you care about is gonna be it. You don't consider what other people think here. You take Mars in the fourth house takes the steps it has to take to gain its emotional stability. You feel me? So it's like Mars in the fourth house could be in an uncomfortable environment in their home, living with their parents or something, for whatever reason. And then their mom could be like, baby, please don't move, just stay, like you just blah, 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 you could work things out. No. If Mars has the opportunity to move around to get into more of a stable environment, a place where they have a peace of mind, Mars in the fourth house, it ain't really gonna be that much to keep them around. They need that shit. Or they might be flipping on people all the time, Mars in the fourth house. So it's like, it's also an extreme here, Mars in the fourth house. Either they could be real individual and have an individual influence either on their parents, relatives, energies in the home, or they experience a lot of transformation in the home, or they go really hard for family, period. They go really hard for family, So that's how Mars in the fourth house play out. But yes, the more I'm doing readings now, working with different clients for like 3 years now. Mars in the fourth house brings too high of a temperament into the family home situation. So there's going to be that sibling, that your mom, your father, something in the home that either has a lot of friction, it's intense, or is real transformative, A lot of the people I speak to with Mars in the fourth house, like they have a crazy ass relationship with their parent, their mom and whatnot. But you got to learn to do the shadow work and the healing and address the trauma. If you was in some abusive situations in the home in Mars in the fourth house. And another thing about the Mars in the fourth house, when you deal with these people, if you date these individuals, they're passionate about circulating that sense of care with you. If they emotionally stable, they want the person they care about to be emotionally stable. But that's the thing. They care so much, Mars in the fourth house, that they could get just a tad bit power and controlling at times about what they care about, or a bit possessive. Okay? So that's how that play out there. Planets hitting the fourth house and water houses in the chart heighten intuition, So, Mars in the fourth house, people, it can be very sensitive. Boro, do you have availability in February? Yes, I do. All right. So what's today? Yeah, today's the 27th. I believe like yes. Like towards the I'll have availability first week of February. So, Mars in the fourth house, that's how this energy plays out. This is because y'all gotta understand with the planets is not only what we're it's not what, because the Mars, the planet is our tool, right? So this is what we're doing in the house, but the planet also attracts experiences here. So, these Mars in the fourth house people, once again, like I just said, really care, emotionally invested into the thing they care about so much to the point that they'll fight to defend them. They'll fight to defend their children, their parents, siblings, relatives, if there's a healthy relationship here. But at the same time, Blonde, if you wanna book something, DM me. All right, DM me, because like there's a little issue I got going on with Shopify right now. I think I might, transition to a new store or whatnot, make a new website right now. So if you're interested in any type of form of reading, just DM me. So I just want to make sure I ain't leave nothing out. But yeah. Mars in the fourth house, they can be sensitive to emotions and they can take things personal, but their sense of passion when it comes to what they care about, people they care about, they go hard. Now, Mars in the fifth house. Okay. Now this is I like this motherfucking place. I like Mars in the 5th house. All right. Now when you look at the 5th house, this is the creation house. We're dealing with children, childlike activity, youthful energy in this house. Upbeat, lively, positive, optimistic, social, fun energy in this house. We're dealing with creative expression, creative projects, creative endeavors in this house, artistic endeavors, colors, things are vivid and sunny. Camera, lights, action. Lights, camera, action. Camera, lights, action. That's how you know it's Mercury retrograde. Saying shit all unorganized, saying shit backwards. Action, lights, camera. Petite bone. Mercury retrograde be having all thoughts and speech all wobbly, son. I swear to God. But when we look at what should motherfuckers say petite bone after they ate something that good? Like, nigga, what? It's bone appetit, nigga. Like, oh, I thought it was a petite bone. I don't know. That's not it. Nah, nigga. It's all the same. It's all the same. Bon appetit, bone, nigga. You knew what I mean, nigga. Bon appetit. The food good, motherfucker. Let me get some more collard greens. Motherfucker can't take compliments no more in this motherfucker. You knew what the fuck I meant. So yeah, y'all gotta chill this retrograde. That ass chill. Y'all got to chill. Y'all know I'm from New York. We don't speak English here. We don't speak. Our English in New York, some whole other shit. It's some whole other shit. You feel me? You be needing a whole filtering system in New York. You feel me? You better come. You better hope you got a tourist, a friend, cousin to break shit down when you moving through this motherfucker. So where we at? 5th house. So yeah, 5th house is the creation house, man. Mars loves this motherfucking house. I don't say it loves it, but this is a really good place to have Mars. You resonates with like fire, the fire influence. We want to say that. Like certain planets resonate with a certain influence. Like we could say like Venus resonates with like earth and water. Well, it depends. Planets have their different influences. Planets have their different influences. Because, Venus is exalted in the water sign, rules the air sign, rules the earth sign. Mars rules a water sign, a fire sign, exalted in the earth sign. So, planets have their different attributes in different constellations. Right, like Ken just said, we speak Ebonics here. But when you got Mars in the 5th house, overall, the intentions and this individual's passionate towards their creativity. They fight for their creativity. They fight for their, their credibility within the creative realm. These people fight for their art. They're passionate about their art. Mars in the 5th house. Now, these people is expressive. Mars in the 1st house, introverted. Could be impulsive and have extreme expression, but they may not be expressive all the time. But when they do, is extreme or is impulsive when it is. Mars in the 5th house they express. They are expressive individuals. They can be charismatic here. Be real charismatic here. These are the type of people that they take the stage to motivate others. So these are your motivational speakers. These are your artists. These are your public speakers. Energies like Mars and the sun touching the 5th house, you could flourish in situations dealing with public speaking, dealing with expressing yourself, dealing with your artistry. The more you allow yourself to embrace being on the stage with planets in the 5th house, especially like is Mars here, people get inspired and motivated by your work ethic with your creative expression. Like we see that shit. We see your passion when it comes to your creativity, when it comes to how you express yourself, Mars in the 5th house. We see that shit. What to expect Mars returning in the 6th house in Capricorn. So you about to develop a whole new evolved way of dealing with organizing that 6th house. Not just organizing it, Mars deal with intentions. So there's a lot of intentions and new goals that you may be feeling right now that you want to implement with your schedule, with how you go to the gym, how you take care of yourself, your body, your mental health, your regimen, your diet, overall your schedule and routine. It's almost like right now with Mars coming back here, it's like, okay, we're always passionate here. We're always setting new intentions and goals here, but I just went through a whole cycle. So I have a whole new evolved way on how to be intentional about how I build things, work on things, diet, regimen, schedule, what I should be working on, how to work on it. Whole new evolved way here. But Mars is going to be very hyped though. It's going to be very hype and excited to make these changes and take this initiative in the 6th house. So you got to make sure that you working with patience, because Mars in the earth houses, that's what Mars be needing to learn in the earth houses. So Mars a motherfucker in the 6th house. You get busy in the 6th house. That's the next house. That's the next house we get in there. But that's how you want to look at it. That's how you want to look at it. And then it's in Capricorn. So right now, when it comes to finances and whatnot, make sure all your shit is protected. Go over investments. Make sure, you might have to make sure you calling your banks and all that shit right now. Because Mars energy attracts stealing. It attracts taking and shit. Wherever you got Mars at, you might take a lot in that area. I don't be wanting to just say off rip Mars deal with stealing and thieving and whatnot, because then the Aries, Scorpios, Capricorns start being like, all right, motherfucker, what you trying to say? What you trying to say, Boro? What you trying to say? Huh? So I ain't trying to say all of that. But Aries, Scorpios, Capricorns could be some thieving motherfuckers. They could be some thieving ass niggas. All right? Scorpio will take some shit behind the scenes. Aries will steal your shit. Capricorn steal your motherfucking business. Will take your business idea, copyright that shit. Like, nigga, you should have did it first, nigga. You keep talking to me about all these money ideas and business. Nigga, that was a good ass idea. I knew your ass wasn't gonna do shit about it. You mad at me because I put the money behind the shit? What? You can't do that. It's copyrighted. I copyrighted that shit. You can't do nothing now. So yeah, Aries, Scorpios, Mars. See, this is the negative, lower energy of a sign, a placement. So when I talk about negative things of a sign, this is your shadow side. We all have shadow sides. We all have dark sides. Y'all could go on my previous videos and the series light versus dark side of your zodiac sign. We all have a motherfucking dark side. So those be the dark sides of our fucking Leos, Scorpios, Capricorns. You feel me? But Mars in the 5th house, passionate about their creative process. Don't disturb these people in their creative process. They'll whip your ass. Y'all seen the Tupac movie and shit. I don't know if anybody watched the Tupac movie. That movie wasn't really like super talked about afterwards and whatnot, but there's a part in Tupac, early Tupac though, Digital Underground, Tupac in the studio with the engineer. He trying to get the sound to the song right, and the engineer's like, yo, listen, man, it's mad late. We come back do this shit tomorrow. Pac like, motherfucker, sit your ass down and get that shit right. Mars in the 5th house, passionate about their art, passionate about their self-expression, passionate about their presentation. Got a lot of passion and charisma with how they express themselves a lot of the times. These people just need to learn how to be more patient with what they're creating in this realm, more patient with with their artistry. Okay. These people, these are your work hard, party harder. These are them. Work hard, party harder. I don't even know which. I really think it's party hard, work harder, but in this case, it's that way with them. They gonna work. They gonna put the work in their shit. Mars in the 5th house can have high durability here too. A lot of energy, very energetic here. Mars in the 1st house, high durability, very energetic. These individuals, like Mars in the 1st house, Mars in Aries, Sun in Aries, could do a lot on little sleep. And then you know how when you doing a lot throughout the week and you're not getting sleep like that and it's taking a toll on you, by the time you get to Friday and shit, you're like, motherfucker, I'm about to die. Mars and Aries, Sun in Aries, Mars in Aries, Sun in the first house. They just keep that shit going. It'd be Saturday morning when they could sleep in. Them niggas is up working on Sunday, up getting groceries. I'm like, yo, it's your day off. Like, what happened? Well, I got shit to do. Strong Mars placements get shit done. Mars in the first house, to get shit done. You feel me? We'll all be studying movies, astrologically clever way to. Honestly, I can't even help but look like once you enter this realm, I know all y'all do it too. Once you enter this life, once you have this awareness of life, because astrology is the study of life. Once you have this awareness, like, it's hard not to see things through astrology. Like, it's fucking hard. I just started watching a new show, Ozark, and I'm doing like this new series on TikTok. So every day I'm gonna be breaking down a show, a cast from a show or a movie from an astrology perspective. So I don't know if everybody's seen it, but I just did Power Book 2 with Ghost and not with Ghost, with Tariq and Braden and all of them and shit, Kane, Todd family. I just started watching this series, Ozark. The whole first couple episodes, I'm just looking at this shit like, yo, the main character, he a Virgo. The wife, she mad dramatic and shit. She giving me Leo vibes and shit. Like, I just can't help that shit. You feel me? I just can't help it. I hear a celebrity influencer say something, I'm Googling their zodiac sign, Googling their chart and shit, looking at their trends, like, man, that's why that motherfucker, the baby going off right now. Okay, that's why he said that shit on stage. Motherfucking Moon, Mercury is on top of his shit, you feel me? So that's some of the best ways to study, for real. When you're looking up the bigger stars in this realm, and when I say bigger stars, I just mean people with bigger light, bigger attention, bigger status. All right, because we're all stars, we're all bright ass fucking stars too. Okay, and there's all different type of ways to expand our light, expand our attention on things and whatnot. I've been saying I'd start Ozark. I just started it because I had a bunch of people pressing me to get into it. And that shit is fire. That shit is fire. You feel me? I'm not even in the second season yet. I'm like, damn, this shit is fire. I like shit that make you think. I like shit that keep you in suspense. You don't know what's next. I like shit that the directors and the writers were behind the scenes really trying to make our mind like, I'm a subconscious type of nigga. So, when I'm watching movies, shows, I'm trying to watch that shit from the writer's perspective. What the writers want us to learn from this? What was in the writer's mind, the director mind, and all them niggas? What lesson, imagery, what subconscious message they may be talking about society right now? Like, y'all gotta learn how to look at shit like that right now. You feel me? You gotta learn how to watch the Matrix through that perspective, shit like that, and all that, guys. You got to know how to jump into all of that. Okay, so the Matrix series is probably like, I can watch the Matrix series 1,000 times over and over, because analyzing it from a subconscious third eye perspective, you're always going to find more gems and downloads about in that shit. Like, that shit is so deep. That shit is so deep. But anyways, Euphoria 2. I seen the first season, Euphoria is crazy. Euphoria is crazy. It's a lot going on in Euphoria. It's a lot going on in that show. And there wasn't all that shit going on when I was in high school. I smoked a little weed in high school, I drank a little alcohol my 16th, 17th birthday, but god damn, Euphoria, they be... God, I'm gonna start first episode, second season later this weekend or something. When I get to Exhale this weekend, I'm popping some Euphoria, catch them first couple of episodes. Because they be wilding that shit. They be straight up wilding. Like, this shit make me wanna, if I ever have a child and they go to school, like, no, I'm in the classroom with your ass. I ain't dropping you off and pick you up. I need to know everything going on in this crazy ass school. I be watching shows and shit. Y'all kids be up to no good. I was up to no good when I was a kid. So this show just making me feel like, oh, y'all turned up in this generation. That show reminded me of like Euphoria. Give me like Degrassi 12 Reasons Why vibes. I think it's really good though. But when you look at the name of the show, Euphoria, and you see what each character is going through, what each character's happiness or euphoria is, that shit deep. I fuck with it. So anyways, back to Mars in the 5th house, man. These guys very passionate for how they deal with their creative expression, artistic expression. All right, they whip your ass when you have a negative critique about something. They know with their expression, their creativity, their art, very prideful in this area. All right, but they can take things personal dealing with their shit. So this is the friend that play a song for you and be like, yo, bro, what you think? I just recorded this last night. And nigga be like, yo, on the chorus, your backup vocals, they too low. Like, raise them up and like, don't be saying them Alice. Like, that shit sound corny, bro. It's like, nigga start feeling away. Like, nigga, what? You asked my advice, nigga. Like, yeah, bro, but Mars told you Mars be wanting to fight where is that. So that's what Mars might want to fight for, the motherfucking 5th house. I said the same. I was like, damn, what? Where the white people cutting up like that? Right. They're going crazy. Kids going crazy in that school. Doing drugs and just it's going crazy. Pray for Zendaya. I hope she clean these first couple episodes. I hope she clean. I hope she clean. Tired of seeing her ass fall out everywhere. I just be looking at Zendaya life and that shit. I'm like, goddamn. I'm like, she too young to be going through this shit, man. She's too young. You feel me? But enough of euphoria. I'm gonna do the astrology for their asses too. Don't worry. We're gonna get into it. You feel me? So yeah, man, that's what we're dealing with. Mars in the 5th house, and you know, these people are gonna have a great connection with children as well. They're real passionate about dealing with that youthful energy. So whether it's inspiring the youth, motivating the youth, please don't, y'all, please don't worry. I'm probably gonna watch the episodes this weekend, and then next week I'm gonna do a recap on what I think they signs are. You feel me? Off the rip, I'm gonna say now. Matter of fact, let me keep it to myself. Anyway, so yeah, that's Mars in the 5th house. Yeah, they're passionate about being around that youthful, lively, childlike, upbeat energy. You know, passionate about that. Passionate about dealing with things in that realm. Real intentional. So these is your niggas 40 years old dropping music, want to be rappers. These is people 45, late 30s in there, and they don't look at that shit like, so I don't give a fuck how old I am. Like, what my age got to do with my art? What my age got to do with my creativity? Like, I'm gonna be into this creative shit till I die. Like, this is what I'm passionate about. So that's Mars in the 5th house. Hard workers when it comes to their creativity too. Hard workers here. You know? So if they're like art painters, them motherfucking hands gonna be like, their hands gonna be like this, because they're gonna stay painting that motherfucker. They not gonna let up on that canvas. Because y'all know Mars brings a sense of competition too. You know, I don't really think I highlighted competitiveness with Mars through the houses. So Mars in the 1st house, very competitive with their damn self. So like Mars in the 1st house, so competitive that when they see other people doing things, they start cussing themselves out. Like, yo, what the fuck? You ain't shit. Like, you, goddamn, you better than all these niggas. And you, what? I've been too light on myself. Like, damn, I need to work fucking harder. What the fuck? These Mars in the 1st house. You see one of your friends, not your friends, you see somebody else in your high school or some shit, somebody you used to know getting successful, doing some shit, you start getting mad at yourself. Mars in the 1st house. It's competitive like that with itself. But it's great to be competitive with yourself. You should always be pushing yourself. That should be the only person you're in competition with. You feel me? Mars in the 2nd house gonna deal with competition in the work field, or it may deal with competition and haters and shit when it starts kind of show the world what it's talented at, what it's creative with or whatnot, what it feel like it has. You know, it's gonna start developing haters around that shit. Might start developing competition around that. Mars in the 3rd house, I told y'all, confrontation in the local environment. You're gonna deal with competition probably in middle school. You got Mars in the 3rd house. Your extracurricular activities and shit, you be developing competition and shit. So like, let's say in middle school, elementary school, you always was a cheerleader, like, or you was always into gymnastics or some shit. You gonna find yourself always finding competition with, like, competition on your teams. Like, bitch, we on the same fucking team. Fuck you competing with me for? Mars in the 3rd house. Mars in the third house need to know what type of social circle they goddamn have. Close friends be haters. Mars in the third house. Gotta be careful of that shit. Mars in the third house. Mars in the fourth house. Haters and the competition be in the home. So like you be having competition with your mom. Your mom be competing with you. So your pops be competing with you for shit. Your older sibling be competing. You like, nigga, you the older one. What you competing with me for? I'm trying to find my way, bitch. You mad at what? Damn. You deal with that competition or possibly some hate in the home. Because Mars does deal with like hate to a degree. It does. So, you know, that's what we got going on there. So, yeah, Mars in the fifth house, you're going to deal with some competition in the creative realm. You know? Put out a fire single, you blowing up, your music blowing up everywhere, you doing shows, you a one-hit wonder. Now, this other artist got some shit to say about you. Now you got beef. You're like, yo, I just got in the game. I just got my first song on the charts. I ain't say nothing to nobody. Why the fuck is the baby or the fuck little baby, the baby, and all the babies going on live talking about me? I don't know them niggas. Talking about my song is ass and how that shit go number one. That's Mars in the fifth house. Developing the competition around your creative realm, your artistic space. You know? Niggas hating on how you entertain, present yourself and shit. Be careful you got Mars in the fifth house. Be careful you're not hating on other people's creativity. You know what I mean? Mars in the sixth house. I ain't no thief. I'm an Aries, Sun, Scorpio. Woo! So if you ain't no thief, you got to worry about people not taking from you, Miss Forbes TV. You got to make sure people not taking from you, trying to thief from you. All right, with them alignments. Now, somebody asked a question about the sixth house, I believe. I'm just scrolling up. How about I have Mars in North? No, okay, that was the seventh house. Now, Mars in the sixth house. Mars in the sixth house. When you got Mars in the sixth house, what's the sixth house? The sixth house. Excuse me, y'all. Okay, so you know what we're gonna do? Should I finish at the seventh house? Should we go through it? It's YouTube, so I know I'm not about to get cut off in this 2-hour live. It's just that guys with the timestamps and shit, I don't be wanting everybody swimming for the timestamps and shit. Now we're gonna finish everything. We're gonna finish all 12 houses. We're gonna finish. All right. My nose over here running this shit. God damn. Now, when we look now, all right, we gonna now I'm sorry, we're gonna finish everything. We're gonna go strong. Mars in the sixth house. The sixth house is your schedule. Routine is the earth house. So it's dealing with an area of life where we're working, building, stabilizing, security. You know, the sixth house rules the workplace. It rules the area you work in because that's a part of your day-to-day routine, right? Sixth house deal with your day-to-day routine, how you schedule, what you attract, developing a schedule and routine, mental health, mental wellness, your diet regimen, all of that. Okay, so when we look at the sixth house, you got Mars in here. This is where you're passionate about. You're passionate about work. You're passionate about what you're building. You're passionate about schedule and how to routine things. These people, they don't play about their time and their schedule and shit. They get highly frustrated and impatient when it comes to people, places, and things, distracting things that they already set up in their schedule. They already set up in their routine. You know, they will. These are your friends that will cuss you out because you know goddamn well at 3 o'clock they get out of work and they go straight to the gym so they could be home by at least 5:30, 5 o'clock. But you calling them with some whole other shit, they gonna probably cuss your ass out or have a real low amount of patience because it's like, you know my schedule. You know my schedule routine. You know you could have told me about this last night, this, that, and the third, and now you got me trying to change and move things around in my schedule. I'm sorry, I can't do that right now. That's Mars and sister. I'm sorry. You know, they pretty stern when it comes to their schedule routine here. All right. You got a lot of trainers with this placement. You got a lot of athletes, you know, a lot of, not just, you could be an athlete with any placement, but with Mars in the 6th house, man, these people are devoted towards crafting, you know, towards they're devoted within the work ethic of their sport. You know, Mars in the 6th house goes wherever Mars is at in your chart, it goes hard. So when Mars is in the 6th house, it's going to go hard when it comes to situations dealing with its task in the workplace, or how it's building its form of stability, whatever career it got. See, the 2nd house, we plant the seed in the 2nd house because that deals with the value system and what we value within ourselves. When we get to the 6th house, that's us working on what we planted in the 2nd house. You know, that's us building that up, valuing that, you know, putting a schedule, a routine behind that. Okay, that's the form of watering the seed. So when you got Mars in the 6th house, you know, these people go all out when it comes to watering that seed. So work ethic is high here. The thing about Mars in the 6th house, it can get restless here. And this starts to be counterproductive towards its work. So Mars in the 6th house can feel the need to work, be so passionate to build, that it's actually taken away from the 6th house themes dealing with mental health, your mental awareness, your regiment, how you taking care of your body and your diet and whatnot. This starts to go work. This starts to become counterproductive here. So it's like, you know, gift and curse, light and dark side of every placement. So that's how that plays out on the negative end of Mars in the 6th house. Another thing about Mars in the 6th house is you have to be conscious about, you know, Mars in the 6th house. You have to be conscious about where you have to be conscious about. You know, Kendra, like, now, I ain't gonna lie, just off that comment, we stopping at the 7th house. We stopping at the 7th house. It just feels good to know that my live streams ain't gonna get cut off because it's over an hour or whatnot. You feel me? I don't have to do all the work trying to upload the video from IG onto YouTube. Like, y'all don't know, man. Y'all don't know the half. So we gonna cut it short at the 7th house, and I'm gonna be up on this early in the morning, feel me? Up on this live stream early in the morning. We're gonna finish the 8th through the 12th house. All right. So we're gonna finish with the 7th. But yeah, Mars in the 6th house. One thing you have to be very aware of with Mars in the 6th house is the fact that you can get taken advantage of in the workplace. All right. So not only can you be a bit counterproductive in how you overwork yourself, right? How you overwork yourself with your schedule, with your routine and whatnot. Now, I even though I seen your comment, Kendra, you just made me think about it more because I actually have things to do after this, things I got to prepare for tomorrow and whatnot. So it's probably just wise. And I know that's the thing to do now that I think about it, because I'm talking about Mars in the 6th house and I'm not about to overwork myself. So that's Mars. There you go. Mars in the 6th house. You feel me? And it's like, y'all know my motto. I hate not giving every placement, every sign the same time and energy I gave, you know, all of them. You feel me? So this was like a good live stream, good YouTube live stream, you know, to break in the vibes, you know, to keep this a consistent thing on YouTube. You feel me? As far as the live streaming. But Mars in the 6th house, so not only can it be counterproductive in how much passion it exerts within what it's trying to build and work on, like, that's great. They're going to be, you know, motivated to build here. They're going to show up to work with the same energy every fucking day. Let me see if they have Russell Westbrook chart. Let me see something, because his durability is outstanding. Russell Westbrook. That's like something they can't. Please have his birth time. Fuck. I bet you got like Mars in like Aries or Scorpio or Capricorn. Promise you I didn't know that. I promise y'all. And he's a Scorpio too. But yeah, he has so much Mars in it. Yo, I would not be surprised if that Mars, if he's a motherfucking like Pisces, Sag ascendant, and he got Mars in the I would not be surprised. That is crazy though. So yeah, man, when people got Mars in Aries, Mars in Scorpio, like, it's just easy to, or they have Mars placements, you're gonna feel that shit. You can pick up the vibes of heavy influences people have. So people really smiley, upbeat, really. Matter of fact, those are different type of energy. So somebody real smiley, they think they smooth or something, you know, it looks like they care about their presentation, either the makeup, hair, the way, all of that. They got big Venus energy somewhere, or they got a lot of second house placements or something like that. There's some Venus placements in there. You feel me? If you got somebody very fucking talkative, communicative, you know, sharing ideals, it never looked like they could shut up. You know, there's some air placements in there. You got somebody that, you know, has a form of intensity to them. It's like their aura is just intense. You know, they're real passionate in everything they do. You see them come to work every day with the same level of intensity and passion. Okay, they may have Mars in one of them in one of them good old Earth houses, or in some type of shape or form. You know, they got Mars energy. Period. You know, but overall, though, Mars in that 6th house, these are the individuals that they show up to work with the same motherfucking intensity every day. And you start to get taken advantage of in the workplace, in your career, because they see that. Your manager, your boss sees that you come with this passion, intensity to you could do your job and all your other coworkers' jobs. Like you could max out doing your shit and more every day. So you'll be in a situation where either people are trying to use you to do things for them, manipulate you to do more without being compensated, valued, or appreciated for your work ethic, because they just feel like you just the one that goes hard and works on everything, take care of everything, completes all tasks. Don't let that happen to you in any form of career, any line of work that you're into. Don't let that happen to you with Mars. You need to learn how to take that energy, that Mars energy, and filter that into something you want to build and grow. Because once you build up a routine about something you want to build and grow, whatever it's creative project, a brand, a business side job, Mars, you know the intensity you put into a established routine. You know, so yeah, don't let your boss, your owners, your CEOs, and CEOs, your coworkers, and all of that shit try to take advantage of all the energy you bring, you know, into that area. You preserve that for what you want to work on, what you want to build on, but you got to be careful that you're aware of, you know, your restlessness, your lack of pace. Okay. Sometimes Mars in the 4th house feel like they always Mars in the 6th house feel like they always have to work on something. It's like, motherfucker, it's vacation. You on vacation for 2 weeks. He's like, yeah, but you don't think I should just show up to the job to see if they need anything? I just feel like, damn, I don't. You think they all right over there? You think they good? Like, Mars in the 6th house, you don't sit your ass down and enjoy vacation. You know you're getting paid this week, right? You know you're getting paid these 2 weeks, right? You getting compensated like you is working. So it's okay. You don't have to work. Like, oh, for real? That's how vacation worked? Okay, I think I get it now. Hey, Mars, come on. You don't got to work every day of your life. That Mars in the 6th house. All right? Got that restlessness. And then they may end up, you know, because they start becoming intentional, right, about things dealing with regiment, order, stability, security. They may fall into paths dealing with, you know, alternative diets and whatnot, you know, because they start trying to seek things to help, you know, support their durability to either work or, not to support the durability, because Mars brings durability into the 6th house, but, you know, the 6th house is dealing with regiment and all that, period. Diet, regiment, mental health overall. So because Mars goes so hard in this house, it may start, you know, feeling like it has to support its health, its regiment with the right things. So, you know, Mars in this house could start getting into all different forms of health, diets, and all of that shit. You feel me? So that's Mars in the 6th house. You know, a lot of trainers have this placement, trainers, athletes. You know, if you ever see somebody come into a job industry and they just work their way up to the top so quick, like they made the quickest transition from you know, this level in the industry into that level. A lot of them be having like Mars in the 6th house. All right. A lot of them be having Mars in the 6th house. It's like an overwhelming passion and strong ass intention to, you know, move up the ladder within the career field, within the things that they do to build stability and security. You know, it's like an everlasting burning energy there, you know, a burning drive to building that house. So Mars is very strong there. All right. Bel papillon. Good night. Good night. All right. So that's Mars in the 6th house. You know, that's just the most important thing I want you to understand is that, you know, that restlessness and being able to take care of yourself and your mental health. You know, Mars will drive you a little crazy in there, and don't be letting other people take advantage of you because they see your work ethic. They see how much you go hard in your day-to-day schedule and whatnot, your routine, and what you like to build and work on, right? And last but not least for tonight, Mars in the 7th house. All right, it's a good one to leave off of. Very true. My assistants at my old job had higher degrees, but my work ethic got me a promotion up. Yep. And Mars in the 6th house, I love that example because Mars in the 6th house, you guys, you was probably telling yourself beforehand, subconsciously, like, I don't give a fuck what credentials she has. I'm going to make sure my work ethic is seen and is demonstrated. They're going to have no choice. They're going to have no choice but to give me that mama. You feel me? That's how that one could be. You probably was already in that vibration. Like, nah, I need the promotion. Like, I know this person, that person, that they got these credentials, this, that, and the third. I ain't got time for all that right now. You feel me? I must go hard. Mars loves to accomplish, you know. It loves milestones. It loves meeting goals. So Mars will use its opposition to fuel it. So in the 6th house, that's how that plays out. Mars will use people, you know, very inspiring. Mars will use people in that environment, in that house, in that area to inspire it, self-motivate it, or just fuel it some more with the things it wants to do. So, you know, Mars in the 6th house be like, all right, man, I know they rehiring, I know they move, this promotional time and whatnot. Y'all motherfuckers better be coming to work early. Y'all better be working hard. Like, y'all better be, because I ain't playing these next couple of months. I ain't playing with y'all. I'm not playing. I'm gonna go hard. They're gonna see this work ethic. I'm gonna put myself in a position where they have no choice. If they really want their business to be productive and grow, they have no choice but to give me this motherfucking manager position. So that's like Mars in 6th house for real, for real. All right. Mars in the 7th house. Mars in the 7th house. What is the 7th house? The 7th house is the house of one-on-one connections, relationships. All right. We're dealing with marriages in this house. We're dealing with intimate romantic, huge emphasis on intimate romantic connections. But overall, we're dealing with how we connect to the external realm. So this house is not just, you know, simplified down to intimate romantic relationships and connections. House has a whole lot to do with your overall one-on-one connections, relationships developed in the outside realm. See, guys, when we look at let's say, hold on. Let's go to somebody's chart. Let's go to somebody's chart with a birth time. Who got a birth time? I know. Kanye. Be all over social media. All right. I just wanted to show you the diaphragm because they didn't have the time on thing. So you see how Kanye's ascendant is in Cancer right here. 1st house, 2nd house, 3rd house, 4th house, 5th house, 6th house. These houses, first all the way through the 6th, this is developing your introspect. These houses develop your introspect, you know, more of your personal outlook in this experience. When we get into the 7th house, all the way to the 12th house, this is the external realm. So this is why the 4th house is this is why your 4th house is going to be, you know, your IC, because it's the most private area. You know, it's still dealing with self-reflection. This is why when we get into the upper horizon, right, the 7th through the 10th, the 12th house is why we got the midheaven in the middle of this portion. The midheaven is the highest point in the chart, how society sees you, how the world sees you, how you're broadcasted to the world. So when we step into the 7th house, we're now interacting with the outside realm. We're now taking all of this 1 through the 6th house, And this is when we start incorporating out into the 7th house. Now, to be more specific, we're taking when we step into our 7th house, we're learning how to take our 1st house energies. So, for example, Kanye West, he's learning how to, in this lifetime, how to take his Cancerian, cuspy Leo personality. You got Cancer and Leo in the 1st house. He's learning how to manage and balance his personality within his Capricorn, Aquarian, Saturn influence relationship life. So off rip, just looking at Kanye West, he a Cancer, his personality is cancerous, ruled by the moon, emotional, aspirational, big believer. But then he runs into Capricorn in the 7th house, which deals with reality. So a lot of times in Kanye life, people be trying to snap him into reality, quote unquote. People try to snap Kanye into reality all the time. He may have manifested a lot of relationships where there's a restriction or a limitation put on his relationship, and he's already emotionally invested in it. Look what's going on right now with Kim. He's literally pledging his love for her on social media. But the reality of it is, they're not at where they used to be. So, that's just to point out the difference between the 1st half of the zodiac of your chart, your 1st through the 6th house, and the emphasis on the relationship between the 1st and the 7th house. We all have a personality. We all have a natural personal outlook on the world, which is the 1st house. But when we get to 7th house, we attract the opposite energy of our personality, and we got to learn to find that balance. This is why relationships teach us the most in this realm. This is why relationships teach us so much. This is why your friendships, not even just intimate romantic relationships, just your friendships, period. The connections you meet, interactions with other people teach you so much in this realm about yourself. All right, because it's that opposite energy. So when we look at Mars in the 7th house, now Mars is debilitated here. Okay, Mars is debilitated here. So we look at the opposite house. Mars is opposite from home here. The 1st house is home, where it's most comfortable, dealing with individuality, dealing with its personal intentions. But when we get into that, motherfucking 7th house, Mars can't be so individual here. This is why Mars is uncomfortable here, because when Mars gets into setting intentions and its passions or whatnot, people are in the mix. Relationships are in the mix. It's boyfriend or girlfriend, it's in the mix. It's friends, it's in the mix. It can't just be as individually passionate, or it can't just, go set an intention or take initiative on something it wants to do with his passions without having to either deal with working with others, sometimes considering others being a part of the passion. So like Mars in the 7th house is learning how to work with people in this lifetime. It's learning. Now the thing is, Mars is going to be passionate wherever it's at. So Mars in the 7th house is still passionate about interacting and connecting with others. It's just that a lot of the times what they're passionate about connecting and relating is their individuality. So with Mars in 7th house individuals, they could be somewhat possessive, somewhat power and controlling in their relationships. That is very likely here. I told you that Mars in any air house can develop characteristics to be somewhat possessive, power controlling in their relationships, or you will attract relationships that may be a little intense, power controlling. All right. So you want to embrace every single one of them as a lesson. But when we start looking at what's the name? Mars in the 7th house, it's a really good potential here to deal with power and control issues in your relationships. So you may have a very strong love language with Mars in the 7th house. You want to enforce your personal ideals in the relationship. You want to establish that, and that could cause transformation. A lot of the times, that could be a form of you trying to, gain power and control in your relationship. And it could be subconscious to you. You may not even understand sometimes with Mars in the 7th house how you're lacking compromise in your relationships. All right. Now, at the same time, Mars in the 7th house, these individuals, they can connect some shit to the outside world. So whatever they got going on in their 1st house personally, They know how to get that on and popping and connected in the outside world. They're gonna have a great intuition of understanding who to be around, you know, because Mars is already individual. So Mars is not just gonna be in the 7th house all day, like la 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 la, around all type of people. No, Mars is still individual. So when it's in the 7th house, they're gonna make sure that they're surrounding themselves or in environments with people that's like-minded, that's on the same, that's passionate about the same things they're passionate about, you know. Mars in the 7th house be wanting their partner to be passionate about the shit they're passionate about. So sometimes y'all get a little discouraged when they're not as passionate about the things they're passionate about or whatnot, you know. And, you know, obviously in this world, we all want to find relationships and partners that's into the things that we're into. That's what makes a lot of relationships, you know, very healthy and compatible. You know, you guys having a lot to share and exchange from a familiar point of view. But yeah, Mars in the 7th house though, they can be very confrontational. They can be very confrontational in the 7th house. Okay, so these people can debate with your ass. They make it a thing out of arguing. All right, they make it a thing out of makeup sex too. But you know, they won't run from no form of confrontation and debating and arguing. That's they shit. Mars in air houses, period. Mars in air signs and air houses. These people, they gonna debate you, argue their point to the end of time. All right, they not gonna let up. Somebody want to beef with Mars in the 7th house? They are there. They are there to, you know, connect on a one-on-one level with some Mars energy, with some motherfucking confrontation, with some physicality. All right. So yeah, these people got a real passionate, they have an intensity in their relationships. They're intense in their relationships. Oh boy, you Mars in the 7th house. Y'all are intense in your relationships. You know? Very strong energy. And when I say intense, it's just like it's you're not gonna date a Mars in the 7th person, Mars in the 7th house person, and you know they're gonna make it quite clear what is it that they're passionate about. They're gonna communicate it. All right. They may be real blunt and direct about what they don't like from you. Mars in the 7th house may be really blunt and direct about what they don't like from you. All right. Mars in the 7th house ain't hiding from enemies. Like they're not doing that. Like, you feel me? But I had to come. Chechi, we on the last house. Chechi, it ain't alive until Chechi's on, but been live for like 2.5 hours now. So yeah, you right, Kendra. You don't want smoke in this with Mars in the 7th house because they could take it too far. Mars is about extremes. So once again, you know, they're real intense in their relationships, but they can take it to extremes when it comes to confrontation with others. But you know, these individuals, like I said, they know how to get their personal passions and goals acclimated into that outside realm. They know how to take their passions and connect it out into the world. They know how to do that shit. Mars in the 7th house. You know, just be careful with the power controlling and possessiveness in the relationships, right? Be careful that motherfuckers ain't doing that to you. Ain't trying to take advantage and you know, take advantage of you in relationships. You know, be careful of the hidden agendas in relationships. Try to be more transparent in your relationships. Mars in the 7th house. Okay. But Mars, another thing about Mars in the 7th house, Mars in the 7th house could sometimes, in some certain cases, be too passionate about a relationship. So it's like you're trying to take all the initiative to keep a relationship in check and hold in place because you passionate about the potential of it or whatnot. You passionate about really, you know, you really like or care about the person. Mars in the 7th house needs to learn to let things flow in the relationship. This is one of them placements I got to learn how to let things flow in relationships too. Remember, the 7th house is dealing with balance. So when it comes into relationships deal with compromise, you know? So when Mars gets into the 7th house, has to learn that part of keeping the relationship stable and healthy ain't just you trying to control it. It's you being embracing more of a compromising state, You feel me? And word, now we could start. Right. So, so yeah, Mars in the 7th house, it needs to understand compromise. Mars in the 7th house, you will go through a lot of transformations in this lifetime in your relationship if you're not willing to compromise. When people tell you that you're too individual in this relationship, or you're being selfish, or you're only seeing or hearing your way, digest that. Okay. With Mars in the 7th house, you need to have more patience within your relationships. See, Mars could be, it's another thing, 7th house deal with connecting. So Mars in the 7th house could be dating somebody, dealing with somebody. It's just, it could be a little too head over heels a little bit before the first kiss, before anything. It's like, it could start doing things because Mars be on the go. It could start doing things to try to accelerate the relationship, accelerate the process. So you gotta learn to just let that shit flow. Mars in the 7th house, you feel me? But yeah, these people are going to be intentional about interacting with others, expressing and communicating their ideals and thoughts to others. Yes, they will. Yes, they will in the 7th house. Just got to be careful of all that, possessiveness, power and controlling, getting taken advantage of, manipulation in the Mars in the 7th house, competition. Mars in the 7th house. Your partners be trying to be competitive with you. So this is why Mars in the 7th house, this is why you need to be in the present and you need to take your relations one day at a time, because you could be missing a whole bunch of red flags with a certain individual, whether they're narcissistic, whatever the fuck it is. And now you're realizing like, damn, I'm in a competitive ass relationship. Now, Mars in the 7th house, you got to be careful because sometimes you make the relationship competitive. Sometimes you be wilding. All right. Remember, the planets in the houses are things we're doing and things we attract. So there's positive and negative things to attract and positive, negative things to give off. So when we got Mars in the 7th house, you're going to be passionate and take a lot of initiative to either connect individuals, to become connected to individuals, to connect your personality and your personal issues, goals, creative endeavors, passions into the outside world, and somewhat very passionate about your intentions to build on a relationship when you're in one. But at the same time, you can be power and controlling, possessive, aggressive, forceful, too direct, blunt, and this creates transformation within your relationships, all right? So those are like the positive and negative shifts here. Once again, Mars don't really like to be in his house. I don't like to deal with relationships and all type of people and whatnot, but you want to make it work for you. That's how Mars make the 7th house works for them. They find ways to integrate their passions with others. They find ways to be open-minded and be one with their intuition when there's an opportunity to combine passions or, exchange energies with another individual, party, community in order to enhance, that passion that you have, that intention, that goal, that creative endeavor with Mars that you have, period. All right. So that's what we got going on with Mars through the first 7 houses, gang. All right. Appreciate y'all kicking it with the kid. All right. This is the new vibe, man. This is the new vibe, man. YouTube streaming, man. IG, man. They in the past. IG's in 2021. It's retrograde time. So I'm taking that shit as a sign. All right. I'm taking that motherfucker as a sign. All right, y'all. So y'all already know the vibes, gang. I will be on tomorrow, like tomorrow's Venus Day. All right, yeah, I ain't getting on late on Venus Day. I got to make sure y'all have y'all Friday evening, y'all weekend, and all that. It's the moon in Sagittarius with a sun and air during Venus Day. Yeah, so it's going to be a very active weekend, very active Friday. So I'm going to be on by like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, lunchtime or something, and we're going to cover Mars from the 8th house, all right, which is another home placement all the way down to the 12th. All right, family. So y'all already know the vibes. Tap into the Patreon where I'm going to go into more live streams, more classes, and in-depth, longer duration videos over there. Hit your boy up, holla at your guala, DM me, email me if you're interested in booking any readings or whatnot. Candles coming soon, merch coming soon, ebook coming soon, new courses coming soon. But it's all on the hush for now because things are still in the works. Things are still under construction under the Saturn influence. But just got to throw that all in the air for y'all. So I hope all of y'all are well. Hope all of y'all are in good spirits. Okay. And I will be seeing y'all tomorrow, family. Peace.